Drink water, like all the time.
We are now
I'm just
unmuted.
Yes.
I am not sponsored. Drink water.
I am not sponsored.
sponsored by
Stay
water.
hydrated.
Sponsored by Nestle, you ass.
I what?
Sponsored by Nestle.
Wait,
Water.
what?
Get
Why
me
is
into
it
the long
showing
factory
that
video,
one?
and then I would take that sponsorship, but they can't.
Ugh. Capturing the wrong window now.
Apparently, there's a bunch of people here in Michigan now boycotting Nestle because they refuse to donate water to Flint.
I mean,
Well, I mean that is
That's-
pretty shitty.
There's a
Of
lot
a
of reasons
company
to
that,
boycott
like,
Nestle.
Takes
Yeah.
the most. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm in.
that's
Okay, I'll boycott
it's
them.
not that deep.
Yeah, it really isn't. Well, anyways, welcome to D&D Monday Night, Internet. Hi, Internet.
Hello,
Hi, I'm Guy
Internet.
Fire, and welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Fieri.
Oh
There's a
god.
t-shirt.
It's
there's
actually
t-shirts for that.
Fietti.
No, it's actually Fire
He
Breathing
just
Dragon.
says that. It's like when Joe Dirt tries to say his name is Joe Dirte.
We're returning to Session 5 of Escape from Flavortown.
You know what? I feel kind of bad for him because he does a lot of good stuff for a lot of people, and everybody just gives him shit for everything just because he likes fire shirts and frosted
What?
tips.
Oh, I'm
She's
sure he's
saying-
a nice
What?
guy. He's just a
She's
cartoon
saying
character.
Guy
Fieri.
Fieri, Guy Fieri. He's saying he's a nice dude. He does
Is
nice
this-
things for
wait.
people. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah,
so-
he okay, so remember those fires in California a couple years ago that like wiped out the first round, not the ones since then.
Yeah,
There's been
because
li-
it's
there's been
kind
like
of
3
consistent at
rounds.
this point.
Well, the
Yeah, it's
first
consistent
round,
at this point.
like he set up like a giant like
Yeah, you did.
tent,
That's right.
and he grilled food for everybody, and people were like giving him shit because he was using a grill, and they had all just lost their houses in fires.
Grills
like-
don't stay on fire.
Like he was doing something nice, like super
I've
nice
seen-
for a community
I've
that
seen
needed
gas
it.
grills. They don't burn it. They only burn until you put the food on, then they stop.
Oh, that's
I
right.
have to go buy gas.
So D&D related thing. This past Saturday was Gary Gyzak's birthday.
Gygax.
Gygax. Yeah.
Gygax, I was just hearing somebody who I was at Yellowbrick and somebody was like, "Fuck Gary Gygax." And I was like, "What?" Like,
What?
I don't
He
really
was
have
like
it.
one of
Sound of a
the
man who is-
nicest human beings alive when he was still alive.
That is the sound of a man who has discovered that his dice want him to die because he's rolled a 1 4 times in a row.
yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't really have much of an opinion on the guy because the game that we play, like 5e, is
There's
pretty
only a
distant.
tangential connection to the originals.
Yeah, it really does. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I did a thing in the past, great. But he had some strong feelings. I was surprised.
Okay, so recap, you guys. I don't remember
Oh, yeah.
much.
So what I like to do this session, because I've been pretty open and like throwing inspiration out all the time, but it doesn't get used every session. So I'd like 1 or 2 people to want to do the recap, and then they can be like awarded with it. So you guys like maybe pick who you feel like wants to do it, or if, like somebody says like I want to do it, I want it. I like do it because giving the whole party inspiration randomly is kind of like for me. Like, and you're not like you're like seeing it used very often, anyways. So let's.
I
I
feel
want to
like a lot of
narrow
times.
down its usage a little bit.
I feel
feel like
a lot of times we
get
also
it
get an
towards the
end
end of the-
campaign. Yeah. End session.
On the
I remember-
session.
I
Try to give
remember,
it out every time you guys.
Flesh
do
butterflies.
the-
Oh,
recap.
that's true. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember very little, so I could use a refresher too.
I mean, my session
remember stuff.
notes has the same words written like 7 times.
Can
The
we
same
please
word.
go to the map?
Is
I,
it
I
skele-
remember.
Is it skeleton, 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 skeleton.
That's exactly what it is. It's dead bodies, more dead bodies, known dead bodies, orc dead bodies, more dead bodies.
I do remember the moonbeam. We just need to direct that towards directly in
I-
front of the door.
I can now do a synopsis. I have the reasons. Let's see. It was venturing away from what may or may not have been a baby dragon. It's like the party
Spiked lizard.
found what appeared to be the visitors' entrance of the mine of Fendelver, currently occupied by about a dozen flesh butterflies.
Former flesh butterflies.
Oh, fuck those things.
We killed them.
Yes. They were very creepy, and they were nobody's friend.
Yeah, they like to suck on me.
After disposing of them, the party found what was probably the original entrance of the mine, along with a service desk that is no longer being manned,
There is no
and
more
an
service
armory
there.
that apparently is still occupied by the people who fought and died in it. As they all stood up, I made the valiant intellectual decision to just, could we just close the door? Because I want none of this. And so we did. And
Yeah,
then they
jerk
wanted to come out.
reverse locked it. You reverse lock picked it.
I locked it real good.
And then someone started knocking at the door with what sounded like a mace.
They're about to get through too, I think, if I remember correctly. It was
Pubert, showing more tactical acumen than I've seen in some time from him, prepared Turn Undead as a ready to action, which is much better than preparing a spell because you don't waste it if you don't use it.
That's right. I forgot that. Wait, is it a cantrip?
It's a class feature.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's only expended when it's used. Because it's an action that it's a combat action that works with a time of one action. And so that had us all there and waiting to see what happened when the door came down. With 2 paths known dead ends and 1 path with endless possibility. And fungus.
All right.
Is
Yeah,
there
so
a
that's
reason
pretty
why the entrance that we came through is blacked back out?
Because we don't have
Oh,
vision
yeah.
and there's stuff moving there.
God
Yeah,
Burn it all.
and no one has ever stopped to try to recreate some kind of map of the area. So
Oh, so now I have to start
You-
drawing,
you were
not
only-
keeping notes?
you were only in there for, let's see, you guys like entered the cave and then
We inspected 2 places, entered
inspected a little
combat.
monster, saw a thing, ran to another spot. It's probably been like 15 minutes that you've been inside the Wave Echo Cave. Ish? Maybe like some 5 or 10 minute periods in between there. So we could say you've been inside the cave like
Like-
maybe half an hour.
If anyone had a level in Ranger, then we'd always know where everything had been.
Yeah. But there
But,
are some ways around that. So if you would like to start mapping it, if somebody has a pen and paper, you could start drawing it out. And what we could do is, even though I'm marking them black, if you want, we could like outline the like edges of the walls where you've been.
we
So
could
that
actually
you-
we
You
could draw
could
that.
kind of
Any-
use this as a map while still not being able to see the area.
Oh yeah, I do want to ask
But
about that.
somebody's got to like draw it.
Do you
Are
mind
you able
if-
to put-
right?
Are
Do
you
you
able
mind
to
if
add a
I
layer on top of the black?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you mind
Because-
if I just draw the outline on the actual screen?
Because what we draw on the figure layer shows up below the black.
Yes, you can do that if someone has a pen and paper, so that they could be basically drawing the map. So that's how we'll translate it, right? Like if after this piece of combat you guys are like, okay, let me do it, then we can basically kind of outline the rooms generically, and then you guys could be looking at this as your map for the area and drawing the lines along the walls.
Fair enough. So whose turn is it?
It was my turn, I believe.
Oh.
Last
Yeah,
did
did
that might
anyone
have been last time.
Anyone else want to try and like? Was there anything else that I thought I may or may not remember? I think it was pretty decent covering it, by the way.
Fungus.
I still have a moonbeam going.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
All right. Well, so Godball, go ahead and give me that refresh. Taliesin, if you were looking on the map, I have placed a icon for the moonbeam down on the map where you had cast it. Can you see that even though it's in the dark?
nope.
Okay. The other part is that I put down a yellow circle for the light from the torch that is held in the mage hand. So you guys could roughly see anybody is human. So like Pierre Godwald, that yellow circle that's on the map, that is your like visible light casted range, bouncing off walls and everything else.
Mhm.
If the torch moves, just let me know, because then I will move the circle so that
I
that
thought
fits. But right now it is a 40-foot radius. The torch does 20 feet of bright light, an additional 20 feet of dim light. So I just put down 40. This is your bright and dim light circle.
I thought you had bound the circle to the mage hand, so anytime the mage hand moves, its auto moves.
But then that was I did that, but that was only what you could see. So I didn't think
Okay.
that made sense to do it that way, because then like no one else
The
did it.
aura system causes more problems than it solves.
Right, like I'd have to like give everybody control of the mage hand in order to be like, you all see this light circle.
Beep.
Which I mean,
boop.
it could do, but you know, only you can move it. So just let me know when it moves. I'll move the circle on the map. Taliesin, the door is closed, so you can't quite see where it was, which I think like kind of makes some sense with the whole like, oh shit, close the door. And what I think we were gonna do, what we called it, like basically playing Battleship. So you are gonna like move it. If you like gave me a ping on where you would want to move it, because you don't need to be able to see it, I will move it there, and then on its turn, we can go ahead and have it do it. And I just moved it so that it is there on your turn. Which actually, your turn is the next turn. You are first.
Okay.
Can we
Not
get
only
initiative?
in the
roll
order,
again?
but Taliesin. So the
Hooray.
initiative.
Hey, you're right on time. We're going to
Woo!
combat.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. Sorry
Also,
about that,
your
guys.
camera looks way better.
Yeah, it
thank you.
does.
And is that natural light?
Yeah. Kind of. I've got a window up there.
So real quick, the turn order that we'll go through after initiative rolling, it goes Taliesin, Jerk, Godwald, and Familiar, Baddies, Hubert, Sparkle Gem. Thank you for reminding me that Hubert had readied that action, because I had completely forgotten that, even though
Mhm.
I went back and listened to all of the last 4 sessions that we did while I was
That's
at
a lot
work.
of stuff.
I was very happy to have the time to do that while at work.
Did you do it
Let's
on
see,
Twitch or
so-
YouTube?
I watched it on Twitch.
We need the YouTube views. Next time, do it on YouTube.
Oh,
Wow,
Sorry.
bossy.
sorry, DM.
If you're going to keep posting 3-hour videos, your watch time will always be poor.
I mean,
All right,
Excuse me.
I'll break them up into 15-minute segments.
Like, make some, what do you call that? What do you call that PvP thing you did in
Highlights?
Destiny 1? Not like Gauntlet, but what is it called?
Crucible?
Yeah, that. Make some highlight reels.
Okay.
I'd watch a 10-minute highlight reel.
All right. We just got to
All right,
do
so
highlight-worthy stuff.
Hubert had readied something. What was the name of it?
Turn undead.
Something undead in these class features.
Oh,
Class
yeah. I'm
feature?
pulling that up.
Might be Rebuke,
I
because it's
think
not
it's
a cleric.
rebuke. I don't think it's as powerful as turn.
Let's see. I'm looking. Oath spells, channel divinity, divine health, divine smite, spell casting,
It's probably into
Turn
Channel
the
Divinity.
holy.
fighting style, protection, lay on hands, divine sense. What am I missing?
It might be in small text inside Channel Divinity.
It was channel divinity, turn the unholy.
Ah, okay. So
Might help
you've
if I
readied as an action to censure fiends and undead. Each fiend or undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. That'll be a lot of wisdom saving throws. DC 13. On a failure, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Okay. That's just a straight up class ability. So you can just do that and then do that and then do that. That's cool. Let's see. Recap. Yep. Let's see. You guys last encountered the room full of the hell butterfly, hell mosquitoes.
I've been saying flesh butterflies. I started saying
Flesh
hell butterflies,
butterflies.
and then I realized that Chris was a bigger Bleach fan than I knew. So
So the Sturges in the previous room and attacked you guys, but you defeated the swarm of them very quickly. There were a large number of skeletal bodies there, though none of them raised up from these guys. So as you generally came through that, you realize that was the old entrance in that area, that natural cavern, that 30-foot high ceiling. There had been all the different entrances that came in. The walls were carved with those reliefs showing the dwarves and gnomes hard at work. There's basically like almost 2 dozen skeletons and rusted armor and scraps of weapons that had been scattered across the floor. Some were dwarves, some were orcs. And there were a couple brass lanterns around and niches around on the wall in the cavern, but none of them were lit. You guys came down towards the south. You went and checked out 2 rooms. There were 2 doors. You opened them simultaneously, and in one room you found an office. Was a storeroom, perhaps of some kind. There's a large stone counter that kind of split the room in half. There are scales made of iron, cubby holes on the one wall, dusty, rotted scraps of paper, and there are a couple long dead corpses in the room as well, and a few perhaps gnome-sized people, and looks like orcs by what you saw, sprawled across the floor. And then in the other room, the old guard room, you saw there were splintered stone benches. There was heaps of rubble from where the ceiling had collapsed and filled the room. And amid those ruined stone bunks and toppled weapon racks were the bones of several dwarves and orcs, which then came to life as soon as you entered the room. You guys had that brilliant idea to close the door after the spell was cast. And Taliesin had cast Moonbeam in the room, and it had some effect, though he wasn't sure what, because right after that the door was closed and locked in front of him. Hubert took point and put himself between the danger and the party, and it is now Talison's turn. Taliesin, I saw your ping. I moved the light to where the moonbeam to where it was. I'm assuming it's on action. Oh, and shit, I did actually have one thing I wanted to tell you about that. I read that. The way that that spell is written, actually, when you cast it, it does damage on that turn. And it says when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn. So you casting it means that they have entered the area for the first time on a turn, or it starts its turn there. So actually, you probably did a little more damage, and I retroactively applied that.
So
sweet.
you found that
So
roll he did earlier?
So when you cast that, it did that damage, and now you've had the chance to move it, which is why I asked where you wanted it to go. Now it's your turn, and you could still abide by Moonbeam rules. So if you wanted to move it after this or move it here, you're totally cool too. It applies where it's at. But there we are.
I'm gonna move it to in front of the door, which is an action.
I think that's a bonus.
Oh, it's an action. On each of your turns after you cast this spell, you can use an action to move the beam up to 60 feet in any direction.
Okay.
Well,
And
that's
I think
So
it's here, right?
I will move it. Yeah, and then I don't know if there's anything there, but I guess it would be entering the beam for the first time. So if it does, then it would get hit.
It would. So it's actually a pretty good assumption that as the door is being beaten down and you see the splintering and cracks on it, that things are happening, that something would be on the other side. So roll me 2d10.
Ooh, 15 damage.
Ooh. All right. As you kind of close your eyes and draw this beam of moonlight towards you, you hear a kind of, well, a lot of scratchy bone sounds clanking against each other, and something that almost sounds like what maybe a scream if something had vocal cords.
I like that sound. That I guess would be. Hang on. Well, I don't even know if anybody's hurt.
I don't think anyone is too hurt.
Well, I know that Jerk got real hurt to the Flesh Boys,
How much that's his own fault.
but
Nice teammate.
You're the jerk, not me.
I don't know. Let's.
The one and only. Actually, I'm
As
doing.
an interaction, can I ask Jerk if he's okay? Jerk, how are you faring? I don't know how much longer I can hold them off.
According
your interaction, you
to
can
my sheet, I seem to be doing just fine. Did somebody heal me?
I did last time. Oh wait, no, I cast that healing spirit and we all.
Yeah, we all
Got healed
danced
from it.
inside of
Oh,
it.
cool. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking,
Oh,
buddy.
yeah,
I
I
appreciate
forgot.
that.
There's the tiny
that-
jerk
well-
spirit up here.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this kills them all. I need a rest after.
All right,
That's mine. Yeah.
that does last only a minute, and turns are 6 seconds roughly. So you've got about that's 2 turns. So you got about 4 turns left on the spell. That's his turn. Next,
I don't follow that
is
math.
Jerk.
Because he cast it during
cast it.
non-combat, and so you got to take that non-combat time and apply it to the spell.
No, it was combat. Skeletons rose
It
up
was.
from the ground. He cast Moonbeam. That's
oh, you're
one
talking
round.
Moonbeam.
This
So-
second round
Yeah.
is 2 rounds. If it
Yeah.
lasts 1 minute and they are 6 seconds apiece, then it's going to go 10
So-
rounds. Oh, so my math
so
was
I would
bad.
have
There are
8.
8 rounds.
I would have
left.
8. Yeah.
Thank you for the correction, Cobalt.
I thought you were talking about the healing spirit thing. That's where my math came in.
I hear him now. All right, but it does make it Jerk's turn. Jerk, you've locked a door on a collection of skeletons, orcs, and dwarves alike that rose up and started attacking. What do you do?
This is blocked off by rubble, correct?
Yes, entirely blocked out by
Specifically
rubble.
Barney Rubble.
'Tis the season
Hey,
to
hey.
be sharing, Fred. I'm gonna
Okey-dokey.
head into this room and I'm gonna go ahead and examine everything.
Jerk. Who says I allow you past me? Trip his ass.
Okay, you can try to trip me. I'm just gonna step over you.
Punch him in the taint.
Interesting. So, if a party member were to walk through your square, but you don't allow it, I mean, you could try to be like, "Huh,
There
hold
is.
up. Do you do that?"
Are you trying to use your reaction to make a shove?
Yeah, I am, because this is my room. I already pushed one of you out of the way. I'll do it again.
Are you seriously gonna shove a teammate? Because I will boot your ass across the map.
TPK amongst
I will
ourselves. Let's
stop
do
this
this.
dungeon right now, and we will go right home. If you can keep this up.
Right back home. You guys
Guys,
can't-
I'm finding it hard to concentrate, and I'm like literally the only thing stopping these things right now.
Okay,
It's the
are
only
you?
person
Will
that's
you
active.
allow me past
There's a
you?
wood door in the way too. What you talking about? That door's
Okay,
put in
how
an
long do you
effort.
think that's gonna
right.
last? How long do you think this wood's been in here?
But Jerk wants to move past Sparkle Gem into the room. Sparkle Gem, do you not want to allow Jerk to pass through your square? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's whatever. I don't care. But whatever loot he finds, I'm stabbing him in the shin for.
I mean, if you guys just shared, it probably wouldn't be much of an issue. But anyways, okay, so you let him by, And Jerk, you use your movement and your action to search the room.
Yep.
Roll me perception.
Hmm.
Plus
Plus 3.
All right. As you walk into this room, you see several long rotted corpses that are now skeletons of what seem to be dwarves and orcs in the room. There is this large stone desk that kind of split this stone countertop, really, that splits the room almost in half. On the counter that's bisecting the room, there are balance scales, kind of the sort of thing you would have seen at the miners' exchange in Phandalin, like they were measuring out things that were, found in the cave. Lots of paper, dust and paper scraps. It's been a long time since anyone's been in this room, and there are a lot of these papers on the desk, as well as I think one of the bodies is there on that as well.
Scales and papers, you say?
Yeah,
The bones of trees and the skins of beasts.
yeah. So you see those bodies, those skeletons that are nearby you. You see the stone desk. It's kind of carved out of the space and kind of cutting the room mostly in half. That's what you see.
All right. Is there anything I can make out quickly on the papers?
Everything is so dust covered that you would have to try and pick something up to read it or something else.
You are the second person to be in this room in the last at least 100 years.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm going to use my bonus action to interact with an object. I'm going to pick up a handful of the papers and scan them over real quick. See if
He is
there
a thief.
might be anything on here that will help me in this situation.
As you go to pick up any of the papers, they crumble to dust at your touch. Anything that's there as you go to reach for it just immediately disintegrates and falls apart.
Organic material.
Hmm.
It has been a long time.
All right, so I'm going to use the rest of my movement to go back out here, and I tell Sparkle Gem the room is hers, and I wait for something to happen behind that door. And that is my turn.
All right. All right. Means next turn we'll go to Godwald, and I don't think Gabe is on the map.
Nope.
He's up here.
In his pocket dimension. All right. Godwald. And you obviously can hear the crashing against.
Speaking of crashing,
I was gonna say, is that just me or is it?
Now,
No, I think
brothers
Jared's
standing strong at the door. What do you do?
is cracking up.
oh, he's back.
For Godwald? It's
You.
Godwald's turn?
Yeah.
You kind of cut out there for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was basically just describing the room and some of the last interactions.
Oh my god, your mouth's out of sync now. It's going to drive me crazy.
Hmm.
Does that make any sense?
Does
I
this-
basically have 4 programs open, 1 image, 1 note, 2 windows and Chrome with a couple, it's a decent number of tabs open.
So, what's the current status of the door?
The door you have seen kind of wane against the weight of things hitting it on the other side. You've heard the cracking and the bank. There's almost like a little bit of splintering happening on that side. That kind of happened like a moment ago.
Like, is it visible on this side where the most damage is on the door?
A little bit, like kind of it sort of pushed out and bulged in the direction of Hubert.
Yeah.
Hmm. And the baddies are next.
Yeah, you can hear that a bunch of things just kind of ran up and hit that door.
Options. Simple option. Is this? Oh, misread that. Never mind. I'll just prepare Toll the Dead. I had this idea where I would try and use mending on the door to keep fixing it while they keep trying to break it, but mending takes 10 rounds.
All right. All right, so you prepare your Toll the Dead spell in case anything comes through the door.
For if I see a hostile creature.
All right. If that is your turn, then it is all the baddies' turns. So. Uh, as you guys heard all of that thumping, crashing into the door, you saw the splintering and the wane. But as Taliesin moved his spell, that sort of ceased for a moment. You then hear, let's see, you bear, and you're right next to you. You hear a latch, and the door opens.
Oh no, the latch is on the other side of the door. Didn't think about it.
So from your point of view,
I would like
you
to.
see the not super intelligent skeletons, but intelligent enough. Came
one
and he unlocked the door and opened it. I
All
think
right. Does that mean I get
that's
to do
gonna
my?
spawn. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that spawns some attacks, right? We got
I would say
bear.
that sets off Pubert
Warlock.
and then me.
Yeah. So Pubert, what is the turn?
Any
turn?
undead. Well, wait. So I'll speak my prayer and I'll hold up my holy symbol, which I believe is on my shield. And yeah, any undead or fiend that can see or hear me within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw versus.
And it does say see or hear.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
a DC 13. And then otherwise they have to be pushed back at. Well, they run away like 30 feet and don't come nearby willingly.
They
Okay. See or hear. All right. And so I gotta roll.
and the effect, how it's written, is annoying, but the simplest terms is it can't take opportunity attacks, it can't make attacks, and it can't get closer to the party.
So basically, fear induced.
Yeah, but the good kind,
Yeah,
because he's a good guy,
I'm a good guy.
Seven. Ooh,
So I
two nat
got
20s. Thank God we're not going to get, like, those aren't attacked.
Left to
these
right, top to bottom.
Yeah, probably. We'll do reading order on it. So let's see. One, two,
but
three of them pass, but 1, 2, 3, 4 of them fail.
But not this guy. This guy's too far.
Well, that guy's
Oh,
dead.
and also dead apparently from that moonbeam. Apparently,
Yeah.
now we know that.
Actually, Taliesin, you would see your moonbeam hovering over. It's kind of hard. What the heck? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Went
whoa.
away.
Where'd that go?
Okay. My right and left mouse clicks were happening at the same time. Taliesin, as soon as the door opens, the skeleton open, you can see your moonbeam right on the other side of it, and there is a broken skeleton underneath the feet of the skeleton who unlocked the door and opened. That was his action and his interaction.
He would also take damage
Mm-hmm.
as
So
soon as he.
I'm going to do this first effect. I'm going to do these top to bottom, left to right. So fail. Moves 30 feet. Pass. pass, fail. Fail takes damage from your moonbeam because he's now entered and started his turn there. So roll me 2d10.
10 damage.
Ooh, 10. So he takes damage, and then let's see which one is he. Oh shoot. Takes a significant amount of damage. The light, little moonbeam, kind of injures him as he then moves into the rubble, standing over the rubble from the collapsed ceiling. I can more easily see the body there. And that was I don't know why it's like when we play. It's got to be the Roll20 website that just like is eating all of the resources on my computer and like bandwidth, which is weird because like nothing else is doing anything odd. It's all just static pages, like your guys'
I mean, it's not like
character
you're the
sheets.
server.
Yeah,
Are you,
but that's how
using
it's
Chrome
acting.
or-
You
I
look
am
like
using
you look like
Chrome.
you're in a
shouldn't be,
poorly
though.
dubbed.
Chrome will do it.
You look like you're in a
I
poorly
mean,
dubbed
it's so
movie.
weird though.
Atrocious memory hog.
I mean, I know, but my computer's 64 gigs of RAM, like one of the fastest processors on the market, like last fastest generation of Intel. Like I have like the fastest video cards, a 2080 Ti. Like really not seeing why this is happening.
Is
But
it you don't have
anyways,
enough data from your internet provider to support everything you're running?
failed, passed, passed, failed, passed, failed. Into the rubble and failed. All right. And what can't they do with that?
They cannot. If they're within 30 feet, they have to use their action to dash away.
Oh, dash.
Yeah, so it has to. The only action it can take is the dash action if it's in there. It can't take reactions, and if there's nowhere to move, they can use a dodge action. But yeah, anything that fails that, I guess that's like the three things they can do.
Okay. All right, and then Godwald, your Toll of the Dead was prepared as the door opened. So did you target the first skeleton you saw at the door, or you want to do anything that's in here? How's this working for?
Oh, the turned undead move on their turns. So I would get to act before they move.
Okay, so just pick the one.
Yeah, just the
It was the
first one
one
I
who
would
was
have.
at the door.
Yeah, the first one I would have seen. And it's
All right, so
and
it
it's
needs to make a wisdom save.
yes.
It's got to beat 13. It does not. So what damage does it take? Roll me damage.
And it's taken Moonbeam
Mm-hmm.
I already have.
It's low, so it is damaged. So yeah,
and this
your
much.
D12 instead of your.
So 9 damage.
As it goes skittering and flying away as the death tolls ring in its undead ears, it collapses into a pile of dusty bones.
Good old Dusty Bones.
All right. And this was all of their turns. So that was all of the ones that moved away, affected by the spells, affected by these other guys. And I do still have 3 that can do something. And it will. Skeleton 2 will walk through up to the door. Oh man, it goes through the light to attack you, bear. It enters it on its turn, so it takes 2d10 damage. Roll me your damage. And it attacks Bear
12. This is easy.
with a
Just keep
2.
walking through my light.
When they're not smart and we hold the door,
Yeah, and so another one of them.
only
No
the ones
door.
that survive.
Hold the door.
So you took 12 damage.
All right. You can see that it suffers greatly as it passes through the light, though it does move through to make the attack on Bear, raising a rusty old sword, and as it brings it up and down and to hit his shield, it actually the sword's so rusted it just collapses underneath its underneath the weight of the attack.
Oh, this won't even be sporting.
Yeah,
Allison's
it's
just kind of like whistling and like looking around, like, okay.
it's going pretty well.
And if they're gonna just walk through it like that,
I mean, those ones are.
yeah.
They want you. They want to come at you. But yeah, then to just kind of move up, but unable to attack, and so go to the next player. Bear. You are now faced with a skeleton who is not the one who unlocked the door intelligently for skeletons, but a second one who is charged after you and broken its sword on your. What do you do?
I'm gonna swing right back. I'm gonna poke at this boy. So that is a. Oh, I forgot the.
Like the syntax stuff? That's
Yeah, I
cool.
forgot
But with
it's
16 plus what? 20,
That's
that
plus
definitely hits.
And for an amazing 5 damage.
Would you like to smite that?
No, I'll save it just in case.
Skeleton number 2 takes 5 damage. All right. And it hurts. You basically like as you slash down across it, it raises its rusted shield, but your attack goes just straight through the shield, shattering it into pieces, and also breaks off its bony hand.
This is dramatic.
It is now a handless, swinging a stump of rusted iron at you, standing there in front of you. All right. Anything else on your turn?
I think that'll be it for me. I'm kind of holding the line here. Oh, hey, baby.
All right. That makes it Sparkle Gem's turn. Sparkle Gem,
Why are you on what?
do me a favor. Give me an Arcana check.
I forgot the syntax on. It doesn't matter. I failed it. Critical fail.
That's with a +5.
Yeah, so it's
And
still
it
a
says-
6.
It's a skill check, so
Well, yeah, it's a skill check, so it's not critical fail, right? Like you can't crit. But
that
Okay.
that's a total of 6.
Yep.
all right, yeah, you're still not quite sure what this aura was. You like had an idea that the magical aura in the cave was something, but it's slipping your mind because of all of the skeletons running around smashing things.
Fair enough.
Maybe you'll figure it out on your next turn. But so it's your turn. What do you do?
5, 10. I'll take 15 movement spots. Move here and cast. Where is it? Ray of Frost, I think it is. Or is it the other one? No, it's the other one. Chilled touch against this guy.
All right.
And there's all the syntax for it.
Ooh.
If it hits, all that stuff, like everything's there.
Is that a touch spell?
There you go, baby.
No, it's a range of 120.
Okay.
But touch is in the name.
Yes.
So rolling 1d20 plus 5. Chill touch. I love this. This is nice. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because like I think chill touch is the most argued about name spell
Well, okay.
because it's not a touch spell. It doesn't do
Right.
cold damage.
Well,
Like-
it's called right, but it's called chilled touch
Right
because
on.
it's literally a spectral hand that passes through a creature that causes the damage.
right? Like it's It's more of a flavor description than a literal
mean,
description.
how about?
Right.
But 18 hits. 18 hits for sure.
And then
And
it'd
you do
be
1 damage.
So
to
part of the
skeletons.
spell is the hand latching on until your next turn. What if we called it like spectral chill grasp? Is there shocking grasp already as a wizard
yes,
spell?
there is already a
grasp.
shocking grasp.
And that's actually a touch
So
spell.
maybe like spectral grasp.
No, there's already a spectral grasp as well that
Really?
involve yes.
We'll call it
And
chill touch because that's what
it-
it's called and that's what it is. That's fine.
Yeah,
It just
and
is
spectral touch.
poorly named. I think we could agree.
Yeah.
But
So
you
and then
do
since it's against an undead, that undead does have disadvantage on all attacks against me, leading from here on out.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'll use my last 10 feet of movement and go this way. Kind of like looking back at the party, being like, you guys got this, right? I could just keep exploring.
Yeah.
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 You guys got this,
Sure.
right? You're good?
Yes.
All right, see you later. I'm gonna go off in the cave now.
I hope you walk into a slime.
What did you say, jerk?
Nothing.
It is now Talison's turn. You guys are jerks. Hilarious.
So the one my moonbeam's over is dead.
Yep.
I'll
I think you have a
Okay,
60-foot
this-
range on where you can
just
move it.
it to the guy who's right in front.
Well, he's already almost dead.
I guess that's. I can move it 60
mean-
feet.
Yep.
That's a deady. There's this guy alive. There's this guy alive. This one and this one.
I'll go for
Yeah,
the
they-
people in the back because
Okay.
I can. Let's go ahead and get rid of them. So that would be 2d10.
That's correct.
There is-
2d10 to undead.
Wait, so it's your turn and you're moving it now and doing it now?
He's using his action. Yep.
Only 5 damage. Well, because
Still
yeah,
doesn't
it's
sit right with me.
I can move it, and
Yeah.
as soon as they enter it, they take damage.
Yeah, so on the start of
Mhm.
his turn, they take
Really,
like
that doesn't.
I mean, read the second paragraph, first sentence.
Yeah.
When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn.
Yeah. When the
It's not-
creature enters.
okay on a turn though. It doesn't matter whose turn as long as it's
Yep.
a turn.
Yep. And then, unlike a lot of spells, it puts this after that, says, or starts its turn there. So a lot of the other ones are starting their turn there, but this one is on a turn or starts its turn there. It is engulfed in ghostly flames and causes searing
Okay.
pain.
Yeah, I've got a judge ruling that says that's not how that
Must
works.
make
Well-
must make a Constitution saving throw. So I have to make
Okay,
a Constitution
it's-
saving throw for it.
Jared
Yeah,
is the
I'll-
judge, the jury,
Yeah.
and executioner here. You would be wise to remember that.
Because meme
So
relevant.
its Constitution saving throw doesn't make it. So you do the 2d10 damage to it. So he takes
So
5.
he takes 5. Yeah.
radiant damage. Yep.
You guys got the ones up front, right? Or I guess I'm talking to Pubert only because everyone else backed up.
I didn't back up. I ran the fuck away. Excuse you.
It's. I mean, what's the
Do you think
difference?
Do you think it works differently? Honestly, there. Did I
Oh,
miss
yes.
something?
Like I've got a whole rules clarification column that specifically cites Moonbeam in the name of the question.
Who's the author?
Okay.
Oh,
Right,
you're
like-
online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the rules as written in D&D Beyond.
Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a relevance book because
Written by
Oh, for
Jeremy
reals?
Crawford, senior game designer for the 5e. Written 2 years after the PHP came out.
I think you're going to a little bit too much trouble for this one.
Really sticks with me. Don't know why.
Well, your
All right, well,
objection
I'll tell you
is
what.
noted.
Direct message me, and you could tell me what you think or say it in there, okay? And then I don't want to ignore your concerns, but the way I'm reading this, enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, or starts a turn there. It does this, has to make a Constitution saving throw, it has to fail that Constitution saving throw and then take the damage. To me, that sounds pretty fair because something like his flame attack, like if he just did the
So does it,
not create flame or whatever,
and then
he would
would
just
also
hit
take
and
that
would kill it.
damage at the start of its turn in the same round?
On a failed save or half as much on a successful.
I mean, I get
Yeah.
that would make sense because
So you'll roll it twice
they're
per
hit
round.
with it, and then they're also like continuously in it. I'm not saying the spell's not OP, but that's why I picked it.
Yeah, it's second level spell. It's an expensive slot for you to use to cast, right? Like you got to get a long rest after this. Like this spell is it's concentration. So if any
Yeah.
of these things hit him, it's over.
No,
Like that's not.
because I'm
I
a
mean, yeah. Well,
warcaster.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if anything hits you and you fail the save or whatever, right? Like
Yeah.
concentrations go, then it's over. Like so, there are disadvantages to it.
I have nothing else worth saying.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, post it. I don't want to ignore your concerns. But Taliesin, as your action to move the spell. You know anything else you're doing?
Um. No. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. And then it's Jerk's turn. Jerk, you're hiding behind Godwald, Taliesin, and Pubert.
I sure am.
You went into a room and you saw nothing but dusty papers and things. I mean, I guess you guys would have seen that. I described it the first time, but I didn't describe it the second time. There was that cubby hole of stuff in the back, but you did search through papers on the desk, and they were all
All right.
just crumbled to dust as you picked things up.
So I've got a clear shot at this guy from here, or should I move up one?
Oh, you can see him. He's standing in the doorway.
All right. I will. Can I occupy the same space as the hand?
Hand is like
The
tiny?
hand is like super tiny. It's like the size of like a freaking pixie, if not smaller. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, because you are more than 2 sizes bigger than it. So you don't get affected by its movement.
All right. So I'm gonna use.
Or it doesn't negatively affect your movement, is what I should say. Like it doesn't cost you extra to move through its space.
20 of my movement to get up here, and I'm gonna rapier the skull.
All right. Your attack roll. You attack with your rapier.
15.
15 hits. Roll rapier damage.
8.
Ooh, 8.
Sneak attack?
Yeah, and sneak attack. But I think that's overkill. Why not?
It.
Another 8.
All right. It definitely destroys the skeleton. You would describe it? Feel free.
I kick him right in his pubic bone after I stab him in the head with my rapier, and his head comes off on the rapier, and the rest of his body lands on his friend behind him, minus his pubis
Crumples.
bone, which flies into the room.
Okay.
Um,
How-
I wanted to jump in real quick. Oz is correct, actually.
All right. He posted it on that?
No, but I looked it up and I was looking it up, and that one of the designers said our intent was a spell like Moonbeam affects a creature when the creature passes into the spell's area of effect and when the creature starts its turn there. You essentially are creating a hazard on the battlefield, but you can't damage them on your turn, and then let's see here. Only on the first.
Oh, you found the same column. Cool.
Well, hang on. Now I'm understanding this differently.
I mean, the article that Oz posted that I read basically said, oh, you put this hazard on the battlefield, and then whatever creature starts its turn on that space takes damage.
Right, but also me damaging them because I'm concentrating, so I can only do this one thing. So me moving the spell into them effectively causes them to enter the area of effect, which would do damage to them. But
So it's
I'm
like
trying to see.
a
I'm trying to see if
little
they also would.
delayed.
I'm trying to see if they would also take damage at the
No.
start of their turn, basically.
No, because they would already be in it. And they wouldn't be entering it for the first time at that point because they entered it for the first time on your turn.
Right, but they also take damage if they start their turn in it.
That one's specifically mentioned in the spell.
Okay, so they're basically what they're basically saying is, and I can see it. This what they're saying their intent is. I don't read that as written that way because they could have skipped out on the whole on a turn part and just said starting its turn there. So that was kind of bad writing if this is their intent. But I'm just reading it the way it's written. And here, starting on a turn. So it's your turn and you move the thing.
Right,
So,
no, and I think that you're
what
correct
they're
in that.
saying.
I was saying that Godwald is right, but then I kind of read it again, and I think I think basically what
agree that
they
it's written
don't.
bad. I agree
they-
that it's written in a weird way.
I think that what they're saying that they don't want you to do is being able to move it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and just re-damaging the same person over and over again. If you move it to them, they enter it, they take damage, and then when they start their turn, they take damage. But I can't just keep like moving it over the same person over and over again. Like
Well,
I can just hold it
kind
there.
of. You kind of can, but it's basically just they're elaborating on when they're saying that the damage takes effect. So you like move it
Yeah.
onto skeleton, and then we're supposed to wait for that skeleton's turn to happen. But potentially between when you move it and another player's turn, it could be moved out of the area, or you could use another spell to move it into the area, and so it's like not affecting what it is kind of written as, right?
Well, I mean, and it
fine.
makes sense too because he's using his whole turn to move it.
Yeah, I think what Oz is concerned about is like me not getting double damage every round.
Yes, the settlement that I wanted was how we ruled it 2 months ago, was that when you get the damage from moving it onto it, that one doesn't take start of turn damage.
We can just say that if I cast it, they're gonna have to start their turn there, so they're gonna take damage.
I mean, what you would
Well, they're
want to
going
do
to
is
regardless.
if he
once either way.
well, what you would want to do is if Taliesin casts this and he moves it over to a skeleton, right? You guys pretty much leave that skeleton alone, so that when it starts its turn, it takes this damage instead of you killing it and then he's wasted his turn moving the spell. That's kind of like where I sort of see that balance heading.
Yeah,
But-
basically, if I have Moonbeam on something, you don't have to worry about it because it's it's gonna go up in flames.
guys,
And
leave that moonbeam until its turn starts. Or if you think that it has more health that it's going to survive it, yeah, sure, attack it, but maybe don't use Thunder Wave to move it away from that space so that it would avoid the damage.
Yeah,
I still think the way it's written.
I
First time
agree.
onto
It
the
is written
turn.
really weird.
Yeah.
But I thought about it and I was like, well, I see what he's saying
All right.
because that would basically give me double damage per round.
It could, right?
For
'Cause
10 rounds.
You move it into a certain spot, and then.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, I don't see it as double damage because you're moving it in your turn. So like, you've moved it over to this corner and it damaged that guy. Oh, because if he starts his turn there.
Yeah, I'm hitting him less when I move it, and
you
then
have now discovered my primary concern.
I get you. Anyways, I forgot whose turn it was because we've taken so much time to talk about this. Does anyone remember?
It was during a current moving of it.
Yeah, so it's Talison's
That I brought this
turn.
up.
He moved it. I don't know if that was the end of his turn or if he was going to use
Jerk's
a
turn.
bonus or.
Jerk rolled last.
Jerk rolled. He moved in. He attacked skeleton. He destroyed skeleton 2, which means it is now Godwall's turn.
Yeah, there's really not much I can. There's still really not much that I can do. Let's see. So that one's dead. Is it like if I move past you guys? I think I'd like to see what else is in there.
Sure.
I can tell you what's in there. Skeletons. Skeletons.
Yeah, I'd like to move 5 squares into the room.
All right. So here.
Yes.
All right. Standing over the broken skeleton corpse. This does also open up visibility in the room. In general, I'm going to open up the whole room, even though you're kind of limited to where the torch is. You have a skeleton to the left and a skeleton to the right of you. Wielding their
Is this a thing?
rusted swords and shields. Is what a thing.
Is that a thing?
That is a knocked over weapon rack.
It looks like there's a token to the right of it.
I don't see that.
It's not mine. I don't know what yours.
Oh,
No, I don't have anything right there. You're pointing right here? I don't have anything right here.
must be rolled. Must be rolled 20 then.
Must be.
See, I'll move 1 more square. And let's see, gotta go over here.
You know, I think even if they like flip-flopped that wording, when a creature enters the spell's area, or when a creature starts its turn in the spell's area, or enters the area for the first time
Like,
on a turn,
In 4th
even that
edition,
would
in
have
4th
just done it,
edition,
you know?
it said moves into.
Yeah,
5th
like
edition's a totally different game, though.
yeah. Well, I mean, like a little bit of wording would have cleared that up, but I could see what you mean about the double damage thing, just because. Then when it starts its turn after he's moved it there, he gets another 2d10, and that's pretty overpowered.
Why can't you just let me be OP?
Because
Unless
then
I get to be
everybody has to
OP
be
too.
OP, and then all the bad guys have to be OP, and then everybody's OP. Then it's just like
If they have spells like that, yeah.
I'll just do
tickling
12
match.
I'll just do 12 on this one.
Okay. He has to make wisdom save.
Yes.
He has to be 13, if I remember correctly.
14 now.
14 now. He rolled an 11, and his wisdom is -1, so he does not make it. Damage to skeleton 7 take.
And this one has not been touched.
He has not been touched.
And it succeeded against the rebuke.
Yes. It's not turned.
Then just this damage.
Just tell me what it is so I can type it in the
6
spreadsheet.
necrotic.
6 necrotic damage. Thank you very much. You see that ringing the tolls of the dead, reminding this creature that it should not be alive, does hurt it significantly. Kind of shakes and rattles in response.
Let's see. Nobody's been hurt. Pass.
All right. That will make it a series of bad guys' turns. So if I remember, and I have to, man, you guys have too many things for me to try and remember. Turn unholy. So
each creature that failed its save takes the end has reached the wall, takes the dodge action and passes.
Or its action, it can only use the dash action to try and escape. There's nowhere to move. It takes dodge action. Okay, so several of them cower in the corner while the two skeletons who just watched the man come inside and cast a spell on one of them make their attacks on the armored cleric. Oh. Those are both natural 20s.
Ooh.
Oof.
Rip.
So crits on 24s to hit.
I'm a 17.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh.
It's out of my
Did I-
reach.
I really-
can't-
So you take
I have-
one and then the other. So one attacks. Do you have any kind of reaction for the first attack that you could do or anything?
I am not in melee range of Pubert, so no.
You're not in line of sight of me, so I can't even use my reaction to throw a potion at you or anything.
Sweet. Remind me again, everybody. Does everybody remember crits? Because it happens so rarely. I feel like we don't get it. Do we multiply a single die?
You
or do we
roll
2
twice.
die?
You roll 2 die.
Roll twice and combine. The worst line on the random encounter table.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's the first skeleton seeing you. Oh wow. Okay, this is the first skeleton seeing you entering the room does a total of 8 damage as it jams its
Does it do,
rusted
like-
sword into you.
Did
The
it
other
just
does a
kill?
total of. No, I rolled 2 20s, and I rolled
Well,
those.
right, you rolled 2 20s, and then the hit die is like, let's say a D8, and you rolled 2 D8
It's
plus
a
the mod
D6.
ones. Okay, so 2
It's a D6. So I rolled 2 D6,
And then add the strength,
and adding the mod once, it gets a total of 8.
which
the
is an average
other-
roll.
And the other gets a total of 4. So altogether, the 2 skeletons attack you and come in the room for 12 damage. Ooh,
Right.
he's all right.
And the
It's
average that I would
fine.
take from that roll would be about 16. So
So not the
that is
worst
below
thing that
average.
could have happened.
I take 12. I
You
go
take
to 16.
12 damage from rusty swords.
I go to 3/5 of my health.
Have you had your tetanus shot?
Yeah.
Well,
Constitution saving.
how
is that what you're
overdue
saying?
does it
On
count? If
top of.
I mean, it's technically been 3 years, but I don't know how the time works.
Apparently they expire. I learned that at the hospital.
Oh,
So for me, it's only been like what a few months. So
yeah. Wow. That was.
is this one of those vaccines where the virus has changed a bunch over the 3 years, or
No, this was.
don't
Those
know.
were just sword
don't know how
attacks.
the-
It was
I don't know how this- I don't know how this
blunt
kind of booster
damage.
works. I'm taking this
Anything
too far.
at you for the 12 damage. Wow.
All right,
That is like-
so that's
I think that is the most damage that has happened to a single person.
in a turn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 2 turns, but I just did them.
no.
In a
Oh.
round, even then.
I almost
Two
died by
them?
getting hit by an ogre.
Did you get more? You took more than 12 damage.
It took me down to like 1 hit point.
In the cave, I cannot refute that.
Also,
Oh,
you
okay.
guys blew me up and almost killed me.
That was all
Yeah.
Oz. It was all his idea. I was way too drunk to come up with that scheme.
Look,
Do
You cast
you,
the
do
spell,
you
though.
shout? Do you shout out or anything that happens to you as these creatures attacking you? Or are you silently
my
taking
defense, I was drunk.
this strong beating? Anything?
I mean, probably just a few grunts. They can see me, right? They can see this happening.
Yeah. So
I made that call, and then I angered Gary Gygax.
So, Pubert, you watch your brother run into the room to attack some skeletons and instead take two huge blows that seem to have hurt him greatly.
Yeah,
It's your
Puber's
turn.
kind of go from a "you've got to be" to "oh my god" kind
Would
of
you like to
thing.
rage?
Barbarian rage.
Ah.
Don't care that I'm not a barbarian. Let's do it.
I'm sorry, is it my turn?
Yeah,
Yes.
Pubert, that's
Oh, my
what
bad.
you
I'm
just watched.
sorry.
It's your turn.
In that case, I will definitely be coming in here.
I can't believe I rolled two net 20s. That's crazy.
I can believe that.
Congratulations. You finally did good.
Yeah, I'd like to have ever had this roll ever before while I was playing the game and not on the
That's-
other
I
end.
mean-
That would be really cool.
That's 4 already from you today.
There's a
Nat
there's a
20s?
Yeah, you had
I
2
mean-
nat
Oh,
20s
because I
from.
rolled them on the keyboard too.
there's either a wizard or a sorcerer subclass where you just roll 2d20s at the end of your rest and can use them whenever.
Who
Where did
who
it go?
angered the luck god? But anyways, Pubert, it's your turn. You moved in. Looks like
I angered. This is my first actual rules lawyering, so I believe I angered Gary Gygax.
I'm going to
This is my first actual.
do a
This is my
pushing.
first real actually I ever done.
So I'm going to
All
do a
right,
pushing
Pubert's turn.
attack against this guy. Kind of get him
Which-
out of the situation here.
Which one?
The
North or
pushing
south?
attack. The
Pubert's
the-
figure is now looking northward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When I zoom in, this
And
map
I'm
is
sorry, I'm going to do this without.
this map is
so
huge.
So you're doing your shield master shove.
Okay, so what I do is I make an attack. So I take a swing. That'd be a 21.
This is your bonus action.
Oh, no,
Oh,
this is
so you're
my
making
attack.
your attack action first. Okay.
Yep.
Would you like to smite?
21 hits.
21 hits. I'm going to hold on to the smite because I'm not too terribly worried about these skeletons, but at the same time, I'm not happy. So then it would be.
I watched a video that says, "What's the point in smiting the heretics if you don't do it in your god's colors?"
It's a good point. So it'd be the damage. Oh boy. And then my additional 3.
Oh. The undead are more
Not,
resilient than the party realized. More.
And then he's
More
got to
than
make
I
a strength
expected.
check versus dice check 12, DC 12. Otherwise, he gets knocked back 15 feet.
All right.
Or as far as I can push him anyway.
That strength check is 2. So I don't believe that he makes that. And he goes back how many feet?
15, or as far as whichever one is.
It gets knocked back into the weapon rack, shoves it and him back a little bit up against the wall, and he takes that 3 damage. Does he take damage for being hit into a thing?
You'd
I
have to
don't
look
know.
up bludgeoning or bludgeoning
The
effect.
shove,
like,
the shove itself in the bonus action is not designed to deal damage, but how pointy is the thing?
It's a rack full of weapons.
okay, but
Well,
how rusted are all those
actually,
weapons? Do
let's
they
give the skeleton
fall
the
apart
tetanus.
upon impact?
Actually, it's irrelevant because that skeleton had been damaged already. Skeleton number 3, and he dies to the
Huh?
attack.
Hmm?
Skeleton number 3, he had taken damage. He now has 15.
Probably
which
a
is
moonbeam
enough to kill him.
when we didn't see it.
Ah,
So you actually managed to you come in the room seeing your brother attacked, charge in, slash and shield bash this skeleton back into this weapons rack. It like kicks the rack over and the skeleton falls into it and then crumbles into just a series of bones all over, and it is very dead.
yeah. And then I'll turn and face this one. And on that, I think I will pass. Because to do anything else, I'd have to drop my sword, and that's a bad idea.
Sparkle Gem, as you've stepped aside and seen some of the commotion and all the trust you have in your teammates, you hear a really unfortunate grunt that seems to indicate more than the sound itself would normally say. Your friends may be hurt. What do you
All
do?
right.
Oh, and also the
Okay.
crashing from this weapons rack falling over.
I mean, hearing the grunt and everything, Sparkle Gem's just going to kind of go, ugh, I can't leave you children alone for a minute.
How old are you anyway?
Not relevant.
Well, you're not wrong.
10. So let's see here. I'll go 5, 10 to get there. Yeah, go ahead and make it 15 to move there. Doop. Get line of sight. Maybe? I gotta see if I have line of sight. Because this is a doorway. Would I be able to see that one there?
Not quite, but you could take one more step forward. That is a corpse that you could stand him, and then you would definitely see him and be there.
All right.
And you've got an ally within 5 feet of it.
Yeah, if I don't cast magic. So that comes to the question of what do I do? Do I choose to keep on with my magic or, normal just stabby stabs?
Can I? No, I'll wait till my turn.
Suggest something or?
I was gonna try and see if I could use an interaction to give you something, but I
Oh,
don't-
use your
I'll just wait.
interaction to throw me a potion to throw at him? Or
I'll be fine.
I'll just go ahead and cast Chill Touch again against that baddie, so he has disadvantage if he tries to attack me. So pull up.
Oh, that is the one you attacked before. Yeah, it would.
Yep, and I'm going to keep maintaining that disadvantage. Boop. So if a 13 hits, it takes 4 points of damage.
A 13 just hits. And so he takes 4 points of damage.
Yep.
Necrotic damage.
4 points necrotic damage. It cannot heal until the start of my next turn, and it also gets disadvantage on any attacks against me.
I've never said I'd love how necrotic in D&D Beyond is Little Reaper.
The skeleton shakes, writhes, and looks like it's barely being held together by the magic that keeps it upright. It's like the bones are kind of separating and floating. It's something is very wrong with it.
So since that was my cantrip, can I still make a normal attack with my bonus action and still get like the
Cantrip
bonus?
is an action. You want to
Right.
do a bonus action of
Stabbing it with my rapier? I think it would just not get the +3 then, correct? It's just a straight die roll.
I don't know if you have to take the attack action with it, I think, but
I always understood it as that you had to take like an attack action in order to use like the offhand attack, like you're fighting with 2 weapons or something.
Yeah, see, that's why I thought I would just ask before I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this thing.
yeah, you have to take the attack action. So you have to pull a jerk, where you stab with one and then stab with the other.
I think there's a bard subclass.
Yeah,
that
it says right here,
attack
two weapon fighting. When you
Yeah.
take the attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action.
Yeah.
If either weapon has thrown properties, you can throw the weapon and make a melee attack. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, but you didn't take the attack action
Yeah.
with the first one, so technically it's
So instead, I'll use my bonus action to move my mage hand right behind God. Or Oz.
ooh.
So that way the circle moves and lights up the entire room.
Right
for everybody.
behind God.
Just
Yep, right
there.
behind God. Yep.
Just leave it.
All of
Some
these
dramatic lighting.
All these humans can now see in the room.
You're welcome. I give thee light.
Oh, there's that
Worship
skeleton off in the
me.
corner that I couldn't see before.
Yeah, that's
All right, so I heard some movement, some actions. I don't think you're gonna take the attack of opportunity by moving. So I'm assuming that's the end of your.
Yeah, that would be the end of my turn, other than, still mumbling about how I can't leave the children alone.
These kids just can't. These kids these days. And then that makes it back at the top of the order. Taliesin, your moonbeam is still in effect. Oh man, I stopped counting rounds, and I
Wait,
really should
it's
have continued counting
concentration,
rounds.
so shouldn't he be
Concentration lasts 1 minute.
this is
shouldn't he be
round 4,
rolling
Yeah, this would be round 4.
and Talison's been in the back
Yeah.
line the whole time.
right,
haven't
but
been- I haven't
If you
been
get-
hit, so I don't have to do Constitution.
I thought you had to do a constitution check every time it's a new round due to the fact you have to maintain the
That's
spell.
like more of a
No.
3-5 thing.
Is it
yeah,
more
it's
okay?
it's
Yeah.
earlier.
Like I said,
version,
that's
yeah.
what I thought. I wasn't entirely sure.
Not a
That's
diss
why
on
I'm
you.
more like double checking for it later when I get concentration spells.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you've said the same thing about 5 months ago, and you said that most of your experiences in like 3.5 and things like that.
You've seen
Well,
you've
yeah.
seen some action happening inside this room. You've seen several skeletons fall, some of them running away. You've moved your moonbeam over to an area where one of them is.
And I'm taking my
You've
cigarette
got these
break.
guys.
Hey,
'Cause it's almost
okay.
9.
Well, real quick before you leave, am I able to take my interaction to give something to Sparkle Gem?
I mean,
You're
I
gonna
would
like
take
pull something out of a
whatever
pouch
you're
and hand it to her.
offering.
Yeah.
Neither they're
it's
using
just
the
co-
object.
It's as
Okay.
complicated as sheathing a sword and pulling it in, or pressing a button kind of deal. So sure.
So I'll move up 1, and I'll be like, and I'll just say, because we'll say that if this is cool with you, say that I have my snake staff out that I'm kind of like using as a focus or whatever. I'll pull the glass staff off my back and just be like, here, take this. You're more of a caster anyways. Not fooling anybody saying you're a rogue. And give that to her.
I mean, she's a half wizard.
Okay,
Yeah,
you can
so I'll
hand
give-
her the staff.
Give
And
her the staff of defense, which will, when I guess she
I
has
would
to
have to
attune to it,
first.
but it'll boost
yeah.
your AC, and you'll also be able to use shield and mage armor. So no more running away. And then I will, as my action, cast Healing Word on Godwald,
All right. So
and I'm gonna leave my moonbeam on that one dude I've been killing.
Taliesin starts playing support, giving items to the party,
Isn't that
and
the same
casting a
glass
little healing.
staff that I gave him when we lost
Ye-
Hubert?
Exactly that
You-
one. In fact,
Yeah, but then you gave me the snake staff, and I've had 2 staffs the whole time.
Oh yeah,
And plus, you have the lowest AC. This is gonna help you.
yeah. I'm just gonna have to take my armor off in order to use the mage armor.
In order to
Profit.
use mage armor, but you don't really need to use mage armor. You can basically it boosts your AC by 1, and also as a reaction to being attacked, you can cast shield, and it gives you a +5 to AC.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. I just gotta go through all my
Yeah.
magic items and figure out when I'm going to unattune.
if you're only using a healing word, you can still frostbite this turn without losing concentration.
Well,
Here, take this. And these are. What
It's-
armor are you wearing? I don't think you're even wearing armor.
Sparkle
Me?
Gem has
leather.
basic leather
Okay.
+1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basic ass leather, because that's all I get.
Mage armor will still bring you over that if you have.
Yeah,
you
if I
take
rip
off
all
that
my
leather
armor off
Yeah,
and
you
just
just
run
wear
around
clothes
naked.
instead. You could
Oh.
run around naked.
I'm
Sparkle
assuming
Gem's
you
gonna
have a
s-
shirt and stuff on underneath.
No, Sparkle Gem's
You
gonna strip. We heard it. We heard it here.
I don't need to.
Naked gnome running through the streets. Watch out, world.
And that's what you
All
call
right.
multiclassing into barbarian.
So Taliesin uses his interaction to take the staff defense and give it to Sparkle Gem, which is really cool. Although you're right, it's not attuned to her immediately. She'll have to spend an hour with it. But then the action is it to cast Healing Word?
So I heal Godwall for 5.
I regained 5 hit points.
And I guess I can cast. Which one? Frostbite.
Is that a bonus action or something?
Healing Word was a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
I Healing Word I can use as a bonus action. So I haven't actually used my action yet. So
You have 2 60-foot cantrips, and and the guy in your beam is within your line of sight.
I'm actually gonna do Frostbite on this guy since I'm already gonna. This guy's probably gonna die on his next turn, so I'll do Frostbite on this guy.
All right.
Which
Is
is
that
an
an
auto.
attack
It's an auto hit. So he has to make a con save of 13 or higher.
Okay. Rolling con saves. I've put away the the 20.
And it's a good thing it's a save.
He gets a 15. Well, wait, what is it? Wisdom or con?
Constitution.
Oh shit. Well, I guess it's 17 then.
So
he does make the save. Does he take half? Oh nope, can't.
I'm trying to take. No, he doesn't.
So not on this one.
I missed him. Well, I'm concentrating on my moonbeam.
Right, and you're concentrating on your moonbeam. You handed your friend a weapon. They're like, oh
It's
man,
a
that's gonna help
skeleton.
you. You've thrown a healing spell out. You're busy. You're like lots of actions per minute. Your APM is very high now, but unfortunately, yeah, you misses
I heal.
Time to raise my APM.
My HP is healed from 60% to 75%.
All right, it is 9 o'clock. We are at the top of the order. Before we start another round, do we want to like cigarette break, bathroom break?
Yeah.
I'd like a bathroom break.
I'm gonna let my dog out.
I got stuff.
Dog out. We'll do all that. Okay, so when we come back, it's gonna be Jerk's turn. Okay.
Okay. Also quickly, who wants a hat of disguise?
Oh, are you looking? Because you're full up on magical weapons.
Oh yeah, I got like 8
attune.
magical items. I'm already maxed out on my attunements. Like I'm ridiculous on the magic.
How disguise is one that you could maybe, could be situational use for you later.
Well, right, but I was
keep
also
keep it in the pouch
possibly,
and then redo that.
I thought about possibly just keeping it on the cart and then having Jerk attuned to it anytime we need to infiltrate a like anti Tieflin area.
All right,
Or same for Taliesin, so he can hide his elf-like form. Because it literally casts disguise self at will as soon as you equip it. And I already have disguise self, so I don't exactly need the damn thing.
And a long time ago, a thing came up where it turned out that since using your deception and disguise kit honestly worked out better than using your spellcasting when trying to disguise.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is an item. This is an original magic item.
Yeah. Well, like, because I just pulled up everyone's character sheets real quick because I wanted to see who had what attune. And you and Pubert are the only two who have free attunement spots at this point.
Yeah, there was only one item at the shop that I wanted, and I ended up getting it. But it was more expensive than I want. And then, so yeah, let's see. If I, so you can. Yeah, I'll need him to add a line to the description, but sure.
What do you mean, add a line to the
it says that you can cast it, but it needs to say what the it's like for the official format of this sort of thing. You would need to say what the attribute is. Like, is it being cast as a wizard or as a sorcerer?
No, it's so the disguise self spell is a first level illusion spell, and this is word for word what it says. Give me 1 second.
It just says your spell. It's just it ends with
No.
your spell save DC. But in the deep lore of how magic items are set up,
So because like it's technically a wizard spell, if I'm not mistaken, and let me go to my character sheet.
so it's a
Because
bard, sorcerer, and wizard spell. So it can,
yeah,
but none of those use wisdom, which is my usual
they
casting.
all use intelligence.
I thought, well, bard and sorcerer use charisma.
You're right, and then wizard uses and
And so the only times that you've used this item, you've used it intelligence as an arcane trickster,
yes,
as a half wizard. So I would need clarification,
I think that's something you would need to burn up with Jared a bit more to
which is
figure
my
out what.
point.
But I mean, with you specifically, it says your spell DC. So whatever your spell
Yes.
DC is what it would go by. So like on your let's see here. So to me that would mean they would have to get a 14 because your spell DC is based upon your class and for you it's wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that works.
Like that's just how I'm reading it.
No, I think that's how it is. Or at least the last part of that I caught, I agree with. Like I'm a wizard in my other game, and my spell save DC is based off my intelligence.
Well,
So-
right.
Because it's class based.
I'd like to bring this up with you as part of the break.
Yeah, I'm gonna go smoke
So-
a cigarette while you two discuss this.
Sparkle Gem is offering to give me the Hat of Disguise to clear an entombment slot for the Staff of Defense. The Hat of Disguise, which I believe is a custom item.
No, that's
just-
a game item.
Well, it says that you
It's a
can
wondrous
cast
item.
Disguise Self.
Mhm.
And Disguise Self is a sorcerer, charisma, and wizard intelligence spell.
Oh,
I'm
you're
a
worried
wisdom
about that.
caster. So would it just be treated as one of my spells known and use my whiz? Or
It
would I
is-
use it like a sorcerer spell? Or that's where I'm
So-
confused.
So you're looking at like if you cast disguise
Yes.
self,
I, who am not a wizard,
right? Come on, let me type. It's not letting me type there. Come on.
because a long time ago, I read there were things like you use this as a cha spell.
So when a magical item allows you to cast a spell, it is independent of your class. So like anybody who has this should be able to cast this, whether or not disguise self is on their class list.
So I can just treat it as a spell known and cast it with my innate spell casting.
Right. Well, if we
But-
read the spell, it's casting time of an action. You make
Because it's
change.
both
It
because it's both a
doesn't
sorcerer and wizard
involve-
spell, it doesn't specify what attribute to use.
Well, so you're talking about the last line of the spell. To discern that
Yes.
you're disguised, a creature can use its action to inspect your appearance and must succeed on an intelligence check against your spell save DC.
So,
So
for
yeah,
a
it would go
sorcerer,
against
that would be the charisma
Your
save,
spell save.
and for a wizard, that would be the int save. But I don't have either of those. I have a whiz save.
Right. So when you cast something like Toll of the Dead,
Yes,
I have to make a roll against your spell save DC.
yes.
It's that same number.
Okay. That's the simple answer, and that works.
Yep. So your DC is Wisdom, and it's 14. So
Okay.
anything I have to do that makes against your spell save DC goes up against your 14 in Wisdom.
So this just becomes one of my spells known from the
Yeah,
item,
pretty much.
and
yeah,
I cast
because-
it like any other spell.
Yeah, except for it's actually
Except that it's
quite a
at-
bit
except that
better
it's free.
than having a spell slot because it's at will, so it is just an action. It lasts an hour, so it's doesn't cost you any spell slots or anything.
This
Yeah,
would be
I
really
agree.
nice. Yeah. If it's like that. Which
I like
That's
what
honestly a
happened
simpler way.
to what happened to the hey what if we like have this demon boy with us giving him that what did something change there what was going
I mean, he's gotten Jerk has gotten really good deception and persuasion rolls. and has basically talked his way out of at least 3 different situations during this campaign.
Hell, I even
Yeah,
got us a
well-
discount.
And he is already attuned to 3 items, so he would have to unattune to one of these items: his boots, the coin, or his eyeball.
Yeah, you should
That's
probably
me.
keep the eyeball.
That to me, literally the best thing about him taking the Urstaz eye is that
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
he has to remain attuned to it to use it. So if he was to try to like pick up a 3rd magical item, he'd have to unattune to an eyeball. That would be rough.
You guys ever play Mega Man X3?
Yes.
Nope. I got late into that series, so
Do you remember this this beautiful piece of voice acting right here? It's just amazing.
I didn't hear anything. I really want to hear it.
It's so bad.
I had forgotten.
And I remember playing through Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 as a kid and
Yeah.
being like, this is so epic, and like being so excited about the cutscenes. And then I like went back and rewatched this cutscene, and I was like, that is some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard.
Hey, Marquise, you like memes. Could you sync this scene to the song Higher Up?
Higher up.
Wait,
You
I
know the song with
understand.
the yelling?
How would you?
Are you talking about the one that's like with
Yes,
the
that,
cowboy in
exactly
the
that.
sky?
That
Oh,
would be
dude,
great.
probably.
Why
I could
was that
totally do
not on
that.
the stream? That was glorious.
You know, it's funny because I was just like Robin's in the other room. Robin's in the other room, like drawing and watching Dragon Ball Z, and I went in there to like talk to her about what was going on in the show, and she pulled up like a picture of the Cowboys screaming, and it just says "vote," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "It was a reminder to go vote."
Yes.
Actually, Jared got in a buttload of trouble for Mega Man X4. Remember that was the
Why?
game we went and got that in the
X2.
PlayStation? No, it was X4. Because that's
It was
the one
first.
The
first
no,
one
on
for
PlayStation?
PlayStation.
I don't know the lore. So
It's
I think it's wrong.
ridiculous.
Because
but
we had
like
to,
my
we went.
cousin,
You were
like my
told
cousin had a clearance
specifically
copy
not to
of
spend
ZX
your
Advent.
money. And we went to Best
Yes.
Buy.
So like, is his arm a gun that's also a sword, or is his arm a sword that's also a gun,
So Zero
or is it just
has
modular?
Zero has a Buster Cannon, but he also has a sword. It's a separate thing.
It's
So
a,
they
the
swap out.
it's a beam
X
saber.
has a X has a Buster Cannon, but he has like he can mod himself basically.
So the cannon is innate for X.
Yeah, he's got a hand that comes out of the end of it.
Yeah, he can make his hand can come out.
So it's sometimes a hand, but it's always a cannon as the base.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense to me.
but he X when you first meet Zero in Mega Man X, he explains that like one day X will be stronger than him because X has the ability to evolve via finding gaining the abilities of people that he defeats.
Like Mega Man protagonists.
Yeah.
Was it really X4? Wow.
There was X4. Yep.
Is that the
Are you talking
first
about the
one
new
with the
Mega
anime
Man?
cutscenes?
Yep. Well,
no,
no,
we're
there
talking about the X series.
No, because
3
Oh.
came. It came out on the
there's
Saturn,
those
and
now.
it had an opening, but it didn't have any cutscenes.
So it was the PlayStation 1 Mega Man X game.
Yeah.
That was what I got in trouble for. So what Chris is talking about is I was specifically like denied like money that my parents owed me for like allowance and chores and shit that because I was in trouble.
Well, no, they
And
gave
so they're
you.
like,
They
you're
gave
not
you
allowed to go
yeah.
do this. They're like, you're not allowed to go do this. And I was just like, and I went to my uncle, whom they don't like. And I was like, hey, Uncle Mike. It's like, if you lend me this money, so I really want to go play this game, and then I'll pay you back immediately. And he was just like, sure. Gave me the money. We went and got it. I played it at my grandma's house. where my uncle lived, because he always lived with his mother until she died. And yeah, I was in a buttload of trouble for that.
So
It's
much
like when
trouble.
they both
That
say
was
no.
Now,
before.
now, mind you, we were both teenagers at this point. I drove him to the store to get it, so I got in trouble
yeah.
too.
For driving as a teenager,
Mhm.
No, I
or
had
for
a
driving
driver's
as his
license
parents.
yeah.
16,
So I don't know which way to point.
No, it was
Like-
both of us. It was a concerted effort between the
Wait,
two
are
of
we
us
on
to.
that?
yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah,
know where
we
my
wanted to
portrait
play
is.
that game. We were like,
Let me
we're going to
rephrase.
play
I
this game.
I don't know
It has
physically which way to
cutscenes.
point. I don't know
I
where
go
my portrait
through-
is on your page. Like
I go through
Oh.
and beat Mega Man
We're
X
on
like
the
once
we're
a
both on
year.
the far right, top and bottom, on my screen.
Mega Man always upset me as a kid
why?
trying to play it.
Mega Man 2 is
Oh,
one of the
because the
greatest
spikes
games.
didn't-
Oh.
Mega Man or the
Because
X
top
series?
games
Because
ever.
Mega
spikes
Man
tend to kill you.
in general,
Mega
because
Man,
I was like
Mega Man 2
5,
was
and I couldn't.
incredible.
Best game
Yeah.
ever
Mega
made.
Man.
I still
The
stand
Mega
by
Man
that.
games are great. I always liked the X series more, but I think I was just played those ones more. I did like Mega Man 8 and like a bunch of the ones that came out for PlayStation as well.
The
I just
voice
really like the art
acting,
style of the X series.
the voice
Well,
acting in
yeah,
all of the PlayStation games are so bad.
So
They're-
Chris and I
oh.
are really old, so we've been playing Mega Man 1 on NES,
I
2
feel
on
like
NES.
you're,
That's
like,
became like our favorite game for a long time. and
Maybe
then-
3 years older than me.
Oh God, no.
No, I think we're much older than that.
much
How old
older
are you?
than that.
I turned 32 this year.
Yeah, no.
I'm
going.
36 and I will turn 37.
Wait,
soon.
am I the second youngest one here? I think Oz is younger than me.
Yeah.
I cannot make that judgment without numbers, and I cannot ask for them without losing my title as gentleman.
I
It kind
am.
of makes sense.
I'll be 30 in November. Okay.
Okay.
Then
So
I am
that-
younger than you.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm the second youngest then, maybe.
Yeah. It's
I'm 38. I'm gonna be
Uh,
40 in a
yeah.
couple of years. That's terrifying.
What
All
a
right.
frightening thought.
Anyways,
Dude, I
Alright.
do
It's
not
my
expect
turn.
to live to see 40. So with my like
Alright, we're all
horrible
back.
health habits,
So,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
you want to talk overpowered spells? It's like
It's
It's
what
Jerk's turn.
the 5e
Jerk's turn.
consensus is.
Let's give it to Jerk. Jerk, you have the
you
flame moved
successfully
into the
emptied
room.
your bladder.
Yeah, you've been hearing some crashing thud, especially a very large crashing sound as a body was flung into a weapons rack that then moved and fell. And you can see a skeleton that has been attacked several times and is looking a little wobbly, like it's not quite holding itself together so well.
I can't really get in there to reach him though, can I? Because we have a line of people in the doorway.
Would you like to fire your heavy crossbow over Sparkle Gem's head into the skeleton?
Yeah. 5, 10.
tell me
15,
to duck.
20, 25.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, you can move through your friend's spaces as if they were difficult terrain.
Okay,
So
so
you could get into the room.
I
Would
use-
it be impassable because I'm on a corpse?
I use my interaction and I tell Sparkle Gem,
if you
"Hey,
don't want to let him.
duck. I mean jump," and then I shoot with the crossbow at the skeleton.
What do you mean jump?
I'm I'm going to just kind of look backwards, fucking confused. And when I see the crossbow pointing at my face, I'm just going to be like, oh my god! And like, how?
Would you like to use your reaction to go prone?
Roll me your attack roll.
Just lay down dead. Deception.
14.
14 hits. Damage.
7, and then sneak attack damage because he is within range of 5
A
feet
bunch
of
of people.
a bunch of people.
Is it
You have
within
you have
melee
3
range?
allies within 5 feet of your target.
So that's
Does that mean I get sneak attack 3 times?
Total of 3
six-
times. Yeah, that's
16 altogether.
so 16 damage destroys the skeleton.
That would be amazing
A
if
lot
you got-
less. A lot less would have destroyed skeleton 7. So yeah, well before calculating anything else, the skeleton crumbles down. As Jerk goes, Sparkle Gem, duck! I mean, jump! And fires a crossbow bolt. She turns around, horrified, watching this bolt fly past her face. But his expert aim
Let
enables him to
me see what.
hit a skeleton and destroy it.
Um.
Can I say that Talison's just whistling spooky, scary skeletons the whole time this is happening?
Are you
All
taking
right.
a
Well,
level of
wait,
I
art?
think
Yes,
that's
if you can whistle it for me now.
Oh man, mouth's getting dry.
Yeah, totally happens.
Yeah,
Totally
Sweet.
You would get
can't
credit
whistle,
for
so
2 bars in Karaoke Revolution with that, probably. Yeah.
all right. Well, that's
All
all
right.
I got in the tank. So I'm gonna stay where I am and wish everybody the best.
All right. Yet another skeleton crumbles and
wow, he
falls to the
just
floor.
disappeared.
Oh, he just like went.
He just he evaporated.
Bone to ash.
He went up instead of down on the layers. And now he's down, and his body is crumpled there on the ground. If that is Jerk's action and interaction to sass his party member friend, that means
Right?
it's Godwald's turn.
Man, I can't tell if Jerk and Sparkle Gem's relationship is like annoying little brother.
Yeah, they're like brother and
Sis-
sister. It seems
Yeah,
like to
if
me.
it's like their brother and sister, or if they're like,
That's exactly how me.
frenemies.
That's exactly how me and my sister are in real life. So
Yeah, my sister and I in real life are very like. I mean, we answer the phone, "What up, slut?" So I get it.
All right, and I totally hear it because I know Elitist and his sister, but it is Godwald's turn. Godwald, the skeletons that have both come to attack you have collapsed and are dead. There are 3 cowering against the walls in their respective places in the room. What do you do? There is a giant pile of rubble in between you and them too. It is difficult terrain to move across.
Do I get line of sight anyway?
Yep.
I'd just like to toll the dead, the northernmost one.
All right.
Just here.
So I gotta make a wisdom save. See if I do it. 1. I do not believe that makes it.
Totally makes it. What are you talking about? That's the best roll in the game. Oh wait, we're not playing second edition.
And
My
has
bad.
that one taken damage?
It has not. I double checked.
Then
It takes 1.
1 damage. It's like,
And it's a D8. Aw.
CJ,
Aw.
CJ, don't give me that THACO stuff.
Well,
Break out
it
your
has.
slide rule.
It
It is
sneezes.
taking damage now. As you continue ringing the death toll bells in the room, reminding all of these creatures that they should no longer be on this plane of existence. It does take a little bit of damage. You got movement, bonus actions, anything going on?
Move out the way.
I
Is that a ludicrous reference?
like, is the mage hand holding the torch? Can I occupy the same space as that?
Yes.
Yes. We
It's a
determine
tiny
it is
creature.
Tiny.
And so is the torch.
Yes.
She's a small creature. The hand is tiny.
Just to be
I wonder
safe.
if there's anything smaller
Step
than
down.
tiny.
Just here.
Like,
All right.
would you say the hand of a small creature is a tiny hand or an extra tiny?
I would say a mage hand is tiny.
I mean, a rat is tiny, so
Fair.
that's my eyeball.
That's my eyeball.
Actually, it's his.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, yes. So that was all the skeletons. That was Sparkle Gem's turn. That puts us back at the top of the order. There are cowering skeletons in the corners of the room. Actually,
Did the
Taliesin,
one take
roll me your
2d10?
exactly.
Yeah, I was
Taliesin, roll me your 2d10 for the moonbeam.
Yeah, 16.
Oh crap!
Ooh.
I actually did a bad thing.
My.
What?
just reread this. If one of the rebuked creatures takes damage, the rebuke on that creature ends.
Well,
Well,
it's
he dead.
Oh.
Not the one he attacked. The one he attacked can now move towards us.
Which one
Yes.
did I attack?
No, not you. The one that
You didn't. Taliesin did not deal damage with his cantrip, but I did.
Oh,
He did one
we're
damage.
fine.
Yeah, there's one. There are two skeletons left. As it started its turn with its dodge action, cowering in the corner because it can't move any farther away. It took 16 radiant damage from the moonbeam and died before. Honestly, it should have been before the turns happened. But now, Taliesin, you've just watched that skeleton die. It's your turn. What do you do?
I will move my moonbeam over here. This boy.
I would not suggest that because that one's going to be able to move at the start of its next turn.
He's also going to take a damage at the start of his next turn.
If he starts
fair.
his next turn. Yep.
And then I will see if I can. Wait, so
Bonus
that is
action something?
well,
your
that's an
action to move
action.
it?
That is an action. So
I am still missing more hit points than a healing word would give me, but we have lay on hands here still. So
And yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like you're going to be all right.
I am definitely out of the danger zone.
So I will. I'm just going to do that and continue whistling spooky, scary skeleton.
All right, and okay, that means it is now Jerk's turn again.
All right. What to do? What to do?
Stabby stab. Well, you can't stab anything. Your best bet is to take the dash action just to get in closer.
Well, even if this was difficult terrain because we have people there, I could still get here with no issues.
Get
So you
where?
can bonus action dash.
It would take
and then
5
dash.
squares worth for Jerk to enter the space that I vacated on my turn.
Well, if this is difficult terrain because there would be 10 spaces. So 10, 20, 5.
Sorry, I meant 5 effective.
Yeah. So I'll go there, and I will
10, 15, 20.
crossbow this
You're here.
this
5,
a-hole.
15, 20.
Excuse me.
Crossbowing skeleton number 4. Roll me your attack roll. Is taking the dodge action though, so you have
I didn't hit him.
disadvantage.
Crit fail check.
Oh, did he? Oh yeah, no. Let's see if you fail it horribly.
Holy shit!
Hey, nice. You,
By a,
well,
by a
look,
frog's hair.
you didn't waste your disadvantage roll on something, so it could have been a 20, and you'd be like, God
Yeah.
darn it! So, yeah. All right, so crossbow bolt goes flying past the skeleton into the wall behind it. As it's cowering from the what is it? It's not turn undead. It's cowering from the turn spell that was cast earlier. It's just shaking and moving in such a way that you were unable to have your arrow bolts find purchase.
Let's see here. So I can use my bonus action to interact with an object, or not to use an object. Can I just pull out my crowbar and throw it at him?
That's an attack action. Right? It's like an improvised attack action.
Yeah, it's just interacting with an object I happen to have on me.
Yeah, not
And-
really.
All
and you're
right,
doing
fine.
this as part of your
I
thief feature.
Yep, I do nothing then.
Like,
I say,
uh,
"Oops, I missed," and I'm
do you
done.
have a bag of 1,000 ball bearings?
I do.
You could throw him under his feet, so the second he moves, he has to make a dex check.
Oh, this motherfucker's going down. I just wanted to be funny. Okay,
No, I was excited for you to do it and then to pick up 1,000 ball bearings off the ground and roll several
yeah.
D100s to
Yes.
see how many of them you managed to
Speaking
find.
of picking up things, we'd like to be able to get the bolt back. Does that matter at all?
I pretty much like, unless you guys fail an attack roll, I'm not really like marking them as forever gone. Like I assume that you then like go and pick up your arrows or pick them up from wherever they are.
Yeah, we determined that
Just
like
'cause-
second session.
Yeah, it's just so much trouble to track every
Yeah.
arrow in your inventory.
Okay, so yeah, I'm
Would you-
done.
Okay, so after Jerk moves into the room and fires a crossbow bolt that is unfortunately unable to, penetrate the skeleton's randomly magical body, that does bring us to Godwald's turn.
Looks like another Toll the Dead, because we're just really winning here.
I'm just kind of clearing it out.
All right, which one of the two active skeletons are you going to toll the dead?
The one under the moonbeam.
Okay. So I need to make a wisdom save of 14. 9 minus 1, 8. Does not make it. Skeleton 9 takes 10 points of... What is it, psychic damage?
Magical necrotic.
So the magical necrotic damage... oh, whoops. It was 5, right? Put it on the wrong layer. Whoops. I messed up. Equals. Right arrow. Plus 1. Enter. The bells toll, but the skeleton still stands. Did you do anything else with the rest of your turn?
Nobody's harmed. I'm in a good spot. I'll pass.
I mean, you're harmed, but okay. Passing his turn. We have some skeleton actions. I believe there is only one who can move, but he does start his turn inside of the moonbeam. So roll me 2d10. Woo!
9.
Right in
9 damage. Oh. Wait, which one is he?
The one's the far north.
Oh, hey, looks like we all own the moonbeam.
Yeah, no, we can all move it.
Yeah.
Like,
The moonbeam actually destroys the skeleton, so this kind of what feels like holy light coming from the heavens in this deep dark cave, even casting its dim light, shatters yet another of your enemies.
How many rounds has it been?
I would say that you've had 5 turns.
5 or 6. So I still have it for a minute. A minute as in like for a little while, not a literal.
Half a minute.
Right. All
Yeah,
right.
You could say you'll
There
have it
is-
around for a spell.
There's
Yes.
one skeleton cowering in the corner. If you bear It's not the skeleton that attacked your brother and hurt him, but it is one of his, maybe friends.
It is afraid specifically of Pubert.
It's a
Guilty by association.
I will do exactly what a paladin should do.
Talk it out.
Yeah.
Are you going
think-
to dash? Because otherwise you can't get through the rough terrain.
we do have the difficult terrain here and here.
What if he does an acrobatics check to see
It
if he can
is-
like nimbly jump through it?
It
With a
is
back
low on
handspring?
it is low on the ground, and there is 10 feet before the rubble, so you could attempt to jump over it. Just
Jump over it
Slice-
and fucking slice down on him. You can do it. That'd be dope.
There's a rule section marked jump. I wonder what it says.
See, I would
Oh my
have thought it was
gosh.
an action.
Well, it's like just jumping is your movement plus 10 feet, and jump a number. So it's movement 10 plus feet, and jump a number of feet up to your strength score. So what's your strength score? Your
14.
pure stat. So you are quite athletic. So you would be able to run up to the debris and jump over it 14 feet. That's 10 feet of rubble. Yeah, you could run and jump over that.
I was gonna say that, or I could throw a spear at it.
Yeah, that, or you could throw a spear at it. It's up to you. You're athletic
I don't know,
enough
that
to
sounds
do
a lot more
either of those
So,
things.
like, would I be able to reach him from where I was? If
I feel like it'd be badass if you jumped over and came down on him.
Fuck it,
Like-
let's do it. All right. So for my
bears.
acrobatics check, no acrobatics, athletics.
Shit.
No.
So you have inspiration?
Nope.
I
Wait, don't you have a lucky coin
no,
that
it
has the lucky
can make
coin, though.
you re-roll
I don't-
if you
I
want
don't-
sorry, Jared. Did you say that he could just do it as an athletics thing without a roll?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
jumping
so it's
is an
it's
acrobatics.
moving 10.
Just as a jump move?
Yeah, and you jump a number of feet up to your strength score. So basically, like people with low strength scores, you're only gonna jump over a 5-foot square because you can't make it 10, right?
Yep.
Like, but he is a high athletic score, so he could jump 10 with the 10-foot, with the 10 feet in front of him. So it's basically he's strong and athletic. Most of you
So
are.
this would be
but
his
he-
movement.
It's innate.
It's just his movement.
Oh,
So you don't have to. Yeah, you can just do this shit.
I'm just
Alright.
going to say this now. If we ever have to jump over something, someone's going to have to chuck me.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
toss me.
probably.
Well,
Don't tell the elf.
I get an extra 4 feet added to my jump.
Yeah.
And
Which
what's
is
your
good,
base strength,
His
jerk?
strength score is
8.
probably not super high.
Yeah, but he
the
has
12,
a
so you can make the jump
ability that
over a
makes it different
10-foot
for
pit
him.
or 10 feet of rubble
Yep.
because you have that extra class feature. So yeah, Pubert, you're able to charge in, running full bore, headstrong into these into this one last enemy area. Jump over the rubble. You're facing
Great.
skeleton number 4.
Oh, that's an 18.
Oh, an 18 hits.
All right.
Would you like to smite?
I want to hold on to my smite just in case.
Well, we're about to have to take a rest anyways because somebody needs to recharge spell slots, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, then what
Tell
the
us
hell?
Talking about me.
Oh yeah. I could-
Telson is out of moonbeams.
He's out of moonbeams.
No more
I will-
mooning of the
Are you
beams.
looking at my character sheet?
No, I remember you complaining about needing a rest before we opened doors.
I'm talking Godwald.
Oh,
Maybe a little.
Yeah, pay attention to your own character sheets.
I mean,
Anyways,
you did-
Pubert.
I mean,
Pubert
last
jumps
year you did a lot of good work with ice knives.
Pubert jumps over it. He does 7 damage. Is there something else happening with this 7 damage?
Actually, I cannot smite. That's actually going to be 10 damage total.
10 damage. All right, Pubert. So you guys have just decimated this room full of these skeletons. The different bodies of these fallen warriors rose up in response to you entering the room and started like this full-on attack. You, the group of them attempted to do it, but you just deftly and quickly mowed through all of these orc and dwarfs skeletons as this was happening. Bear jumps over this pile of rubble, takes his sword and smashes through this last skeleton that is terribly afraid of him, and it dies with his final blow. You have cleared this room of skeletons. We are no longer in combat.
Loot time.
Congratulations, partiers.
My hand and I are the hand screen drop the torch and just start rummaging through things.
Yes, I would also like to investigate these interesting lockers and things in this room.
There
I'm
are
gonna
no
look
lockers. They're
around.
called coffins.
Oh, those. What?
These dark
This
things.
ain't the armory?
Yeah.
These are coffins that the
They're
lid blew
not-
off of to expose all these skellies. to
They're
come
not.
out.
Okay.
They are
They're
not.
not coffins.
They're not coffins.
Oh,
So they're not called coffins.
they're totally called coffins.
That was the other map.
You can think of them like coffins. They are stone benches. As with many things that I guess now that you've seen in the area, a lot of items in the cave have just been carved out of the stone that existed. So rather than like building a wooden bench and bringing it in, they created these stone benches / beds. It is essentially like where the guards for the area would have like stayed, slept, and equipped themselves. But hundreds of years later, and in the aftermath of this battle, they are essentially just like kind of stone slabs. You do see in the room there is this old ancient weapons rack, and there are several things there: axes, spears, and swords. A lot of them have been taken away, and you can kind of make a intelligent assumption that several of the skeletons that were in this room actually had them. You could see as you're investigating around in the different bodies, the skeletons that were orcs are holding entirely different weapons from the skeletons that were dwarves here. Those weapons seem to match what was on the shelves, but they are all very rusted. You see, and there's nothing is really greater or even like kind of equal to just a weapon that has been made recently or anything that you guys are carrying. But there is a lot of stuff like that here.
Well, I'm going to invite the rest of the party that's out in the hallway to enter. And when they do, I'm going to lock the door so we can take a rest.
Just with the regular latch.
I say we take one of the stone benches and put it like in front of the door, so that way, in case anything does come a knocking, they have a stone bench to break through along with the door.
Jared, did you just say that the benches were carved out of the cave floor itself?
I did, and so that would require some mining tools. I don't know if anyone has a pickaxe or anything that could work.
I've got
There
a
is this
pickaxe.
movable weapons rack here.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I
Oh.
want to invest the time though.
What was
Anybody
that?
got
Is-
like
We can
Barrel?
lock the door.
Yeah, I can lock the door and we can move that.
The lock
The
was on
weapons
this
rack.
side.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
but,
unlocked it from this side.
All right, I say we barricade it with the weapons rack, and if this is made of wood, it's not part of the cavern, so we can move that there too.
It's true.
And
Is
then
there
we take a rest here.
is there ventilation?
Is there any air movement in here?
There are no kind of air ducts in the room, but the door is not like a hermetic seal of any kind. So
If
like,
I started
air
a fire, would
flows
we
in and out
die?
through the door. If you started a fire, the room would fill with smoke. would probably bother your eyes quite a bit, and after a period of time, make it difficult to breathe.
Okay, so I won't do that. I'm just thinking of like, I mean, I don't know how long that torch will last, but if I started a small fire for the humans to be able to see, I can see fine
Right?
in
Freaking
here.
Yeah, if you so like I don't know what's your guys' intent here. I hear Jerk wants to like come in here and take a rest inside. I'm
I would
hearing
like
you,
to take a
kinda
rest.
like make the fire to essentially like have some light while the torch put out the torch,
I would,
light a
yeah.
fire.
I mean, my thought would be that they probably would have torches or some sort of light source down here. It's not. I wouldn't think that like these people would be working in pitch black. So there's got to be some way for me to light up the room.
Yeah, there are like kind of they're old and they're ancient, but there are sconces around the room for where like candles had been lit, and you find that there are 3 candles that are still the wax is still there, and you could light the candles, so there could be light provided without doing too much smoke in the room. Like
All right.
you might, like if you broke the weapons rack down and tried to burn that, that would just build up smoke in the room, right?
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll.
there are candles.
Yeah, we can see in the
I
dark,
will.
but we can't see through smoke.
I will use produce flame to light any sort of sconces or candles or whatever.
Okay, yeah. So there's 3 of them where there are still like existing candles. They're kind of off in the distance, the corners away from where like the roof collapsed. Um, as you sort of like investigating the room, you could see that like all this stone and rubble stuff fell from the ceiling. That there was a bit of a battle here, and that is and some kind of explosion brought the ceiling down. And you can even see like more bits of skeletons and things kind of sticking out from under there, but something blew up in this room.
All right. We taking a. He's gonna go over here and lay down on one of these benches. Taliesin will, and ask, "Are we resting then, gang? I need to recover some of my spell slots, my spell energy."
I'm gonna go lay on this one, and I say, "Yes, that sounds wonderful to me."
I think I heard both rogues and the cleric say they were searching the room and looking around for like stuff on the bodies. Is that right?
Yep, I'm looting before I do anything else.
I have declared an intent to investigate.
I might as
Yeah, I
well.
heard.
I'm just going to
Okay.
collapse on a thing like an old man, just kind of sit and
All right.
not.
So while Talison's trying to take care of the party and the rogues are searching out through the room and the cleric's following their lead, you 3 give me a D12 roll.
I don't have a syntax pre-written for that because D12s are useless unless you're a
It's-
barbarian.
It's /R 1d12.
Yeah, it's easier just to go click, click, click.
Then you go click die, click D12. And let's get that interesting knick-knack table.
Yeah, so
Haven't
see.
seen it since the cave.
Oz got a
Godwald?
10, I got an 11, and Jerk got a 3.
Yeah, so Godwald finds on one of the skeleton's bodies that there is a ring made of gold set with a carnelian stone. Sparkle Gem finds that one of the skeleton's heads is continuing to glow a constant green, eerie light.
Can I do a Arcana check? Oh,
You can.
well, rather than doing that, can I just cast Identify to find out what the fuck is going on with it?
Sure, well, yeah, that was like
Is it a ritual?
ritual or whatever.
Let me find out. No, it's a instant
Oh, actually, no. Roll me the Arcana check. Roll me the Arcana check. Roll me the Arcana check. Roll me the
Okay.
Arcana check. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes.
die.
We're
I'm
checking
going
out all the stuff in the room.
Oh,
Towson.
yeah.
I was trying to see what she was identifying.
Where so like everybody's like looting the place, right? Essentially, and then she is. So
I'm not
7.
doing shit.
Okay, as you are holding this skull, and you have been thinking, Sparkle Gem, you have been sitting and thinking about this as you've like spent the last half hour in this cave, like what this magical aura is, and like you up until this point you quite haven't been able to understand it, but literally holding a green glowing skeleton, you turn to the rest of the party, you're like, guys, I think this magical aura is a necrotic aura. And that's kind of what you discover from the really obvious dead skeletons and rising back to life and things. But you've kind of identified that that's the magical aura that you've sensed in the cave.
This is what their big bad boss
Put that
do,
down.
which means we shouldn't have to. No, it's mine. I'm going to chase after Pooh Bear with it, like
And so-
moving its straw, like, hello, Mr. Pooh Bear.
But
And so
yeah,
the
if
Put
you
it
wanna-
down. Put it. He's sitting up right
The
now.
exposure has revealed the school of the effect, as if to detect magic.
Well, yeah, enough time,
Which
enough
detect magic would only give the
roll, so
school.
there you go. And the evidence that the skeletons came to life, along with the glowing skull.
And the fact that,
it's
like, you know, I've
enough
dedicated
things.
life to the study
much
of
time.
magic.
Yes, but now you get it. Now you know there is a necrotic aura of magic in the cave, and that's kind of what you've all been feeling. And it gives you a little bit of like, once you say it, and everybody else kind of like it clicks with them. Everybody gets goosebumps. A little bit like, oh,
TM.
yeah, the undead.
Nah, I'm too busy chasing after Pooh Bear, making the skull talk as I run.
Jerk is able to
kinda do
find.
like the mom who
There was
has her kid come in with like a random animal, jump up on the chair. No, get that
Even-
away. What are you doing? Put that down.
So,
You're
yeah.
not keeping that.
this reminds. There was a scene in the West of Loathing where
Hold on.
there was a skull that you looted, and it's like this skull has a tag on it that reads "Enter Cemetery Alone, Old Mission on the Hill," and it was checked out over 50 years ago.
So as
Taliesin-
Jerk is scouring the room, and
Tal-
he goes through the bodies.
Okay.
He finds an old order of battle on one of the skeletons, despite the armor being literally rusted on this orc. It looks a little more like in the past it was more ornate. Like perhaps this was the captain of these orcs, and the order of battle just states: never give in, never stop fighting, kill all of the dwarves.
Never give in, never stop fighting, kill all drawers, dwarves.
Yeah.
Never
and then
give
it just,
in, never surrender.
Yeah, but then a little insignia in the corner looks pretty familiar to you, and it
Like it's branded on our skin.
yeah, actually, like very similar to what you've seen in Cragmaw Castle and the Necromancer's Cave and whatever, as the sort of marching orders from some troops of Gramoosh that were ordered to attack here. You're able to share that with everybody. And then Taliesin, I'm sorry, you said something. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to finish the other thought.
Oh, you're fine. I didn't mean to as well. Talison's gonna take a little bit of soul walk.
Oh
A
yeah.
little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. So you have to roll Constitution, right?
I'll be right back in a second.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so Taliesin, if you like eat one of these, I'm not even sure what it was. It was like we talked about, like the cactus, like hide, like the part of the shell. If you like
It's
take a
pretty
bite
much
of this,
peyote.
Yeah. In about 30 minutes, you you feel really good, and you're like, you kind of it's everything just kind of seems like a little deeper, like a little more colorful. Like you love it just a little bit more. Like you're just happier with everything a little bit more than you were before, and you kind of are like in this place where you're like, oh man, I don't know if I could go. I don't know if I could go. I can't go. I can't go. And you sort of lay down on one of the benches, and it just kind of like lays you up and makes and it keeps you awake. If you try to sleep, I'm gonna have to have you roll to see if you get to
What kind
sleep
of
or not.
fungus did you find, man?
I'm gonna roll a perception check to see if I notice this happening.
What kind of fungus did you
All right.
+3, 11.
11.
in an enclosed room?
I got an
That
11.
was weird. It's weird. I showed 11 on the die roll, but in the chat it shows me 8. But
Two people
anyways,
rolled at once.
I mean, yeah. So like, as you guys like take the weapons rack, you lock the door, you take the weapons rack, you push it up against the door. Let me get you guys moved in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we move Sparkle Gem inside the room,
Yeah. And
or just leave her out there? Whatever.
you move the weapons rack up. You guys have, you've been in this dungeon for a good hour ish at this point, as you're collecting these things and moving them into this room, and you're like, oh fuck, 1 hour was just way too long. Oh, we all need to rest. You do see Taliesin like pick something up out of one of the like satchels that he didn't have before. He's like additional satchel. You're like, oh, I didn't even notice that. And he eats it and just kind of like lay back and start muttering to himself, I can go. I can't go. No, 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 I can't go. And yeah, you hear that.
Could I say?
Also, mark off one of the
would it-
soul lock.
I did. Would it be fair to say that I could handle my shit because I am a druid?
He does
I
this a
would
lot.
say you would have to make a check for it. of
I
some
did
sort,
make a
like
check.
sanity check.
I did make
Did
a
you-
check, but I am a druid,
Well,
Do you-
and
so
this is a cactus.
So it's going to be a Constitution saving throw to see whether or not you can sleep through the rest. That's basically what we're going to do. Because you're
Yeah.
taking basically what is equivalent to like a psychedelic.
I would
And
assume
you're
it's equivalent
and
to
you're also
peyote.
trying to sleep before you took a psychedelic. So
Yeah, I
like,
mean that's not a
you-
good idea to try and sleep on that, but
right.
Does it
So-
count as a poison effect?
no, I wouldn't think so.
No, but I would say you would have disadvantage against all attack rolls while it's in effect due to the fact you can't tell what the fuck you're attacking.
Well, good thing we're fucking
Yeah,
resting
Slice
for
as a-
8+ hours.
Yeah.
So
All right,
as a
but your
vis-
roll
as a
was
visual illusion?
11, and it would
Yeah.
have been 11 plus Constitution save plus 1, so 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do like that's. I'm assuming you guys are talking about taking an 8-hour rest after being awake for like 4
I
hours.
mean, I only need a short rest, so
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I'm
thought
full
we were doing
health.
short rest.
I woke up early when we found the cave.
All
I'm
right,
taking
so
a long rest. I
Talison's
have
longer, so
no
6
spells.
hours, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but your
He-
long
he-
rest is like
he's wiped
6
out.
hours.
Yeah.
Our long short rests are 4 hours. So
I could stay up.
yeah, because honestly, I have one spell used. I don't need to rest, but I could spend the time like reattuning and reassigning items.
Well, I'm sorry that I was carrying you, but
Carrying me, I'm not the one screaming in
That's a-
pain
I was
because I got
kidding.
snapped.
I was joking.
It's ridiculous. I love that you guys decided to take the room with all of the skeletons that came to life to sleep in. That's my favorite part.
I'm staying awake.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't trust
Um,
anything in here.
It's
Yeah, I'm
blocked
fucked
off,
up.
and there's no more skeletons.
So yeah, it was pretty early in the morning when you guys like woke up, came out, or you had a weird collection of like half sleeping on the cart and half not as you came in. Bear and Godwald had been awake, while I think most of the rest of the party was sleeping. You've come in here, you've expended a lot of energy. You definitely feel the need to rest. You've all agreed that you want to do it. So Talison's going to need like 6 hours, and he just needs this 6 hours now in order to do it because he took this drug. So he does succeed on the Constitution saving throw, but he has some wild and crazy dreams. And Taliesin, I am going to write those out so that next week when we come back, we'll have a good idea of what those were because I forgot to write those out. But
Well, I was hoping that you would actually
Whoa.
have something for that because
I meant to, but we will.
no,
We
I
will.
mean
Okay.
Yeah,
in general, not like
it was intended.
right
Yeah.
now. I'm excited that you actually have something for it because it says it's used to go on spirit journeys, and I'm a
Yeah.
fucking druid, so
Yeah. So like, but you are able to get your rest. So if you guys like group up, I don't know how, and you want to let Taliesin take his 6 hours of rest, you guys, everyone else could do a short rest. Um, if in the 6 hours you can Taliesin, you can roll hit die. I think your short rest, everybody can roll hit die as well. If you want to use one of those or two of those or all of those to like regain health for your short rest as well, you can go ahead and do that.
but
Is anybody doing that?
I
What are
should
we
just
doing?
refresh, right? Because I'm doing a
Yeah,
long
because
rest.
you're gonna take the 6 hours out. So I don't know if you guys all want to push the 8 hour limit or you want to sleep. Tell me, what are you guys doing here? Talison's like, he's taking some drugs. Like, I can't go. I can't go. I just
I'm
can't
fucked up.
go. He lays down in the stone bench and just
Forcing a
throws those
rest
down.
on.
So
I'm
my spells don't recharge unless I take a long rest.
I'm still good to go.
So
I'll just take a short rest and expend one hit die.
I can rest last because my hit points are all the way back up from that healing totem.
yeah, my hit
But you could
points
just
are
take
all the way up. I still got 2 out of 3 of my spells, so I'm going to spend my time adjusting and reattuning and unattuning to some items.
Oh yeah, can I have the hat?
You want the hat?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Oh,
take the hat of disguise.
I was
Do
gonna
you want anything
ask.
for it?
Wait, what?
Do you want anything
Go
for
ahead.
it?
Oh, Jerk had an interjection. So he was gonna
Yeah,
ask.
that's why
Well,
I
it
was
doesn't matter.
saying.
Joe's not here.
No, what did you want,
What were we
Jerk?
gonna? You were gonna ask
I was
what?
gonna ask
It's okay.
Pubert if he wants those boots, the Mudwalkers, because they're kind of counterintuitive to my class. They leave footprints for like an hour after I use them, and they might help him to get away if he absolutely has to. He's usually the first
get
line
in.
of defense.
Read to him what they do. Maybe he does want them.
Well, he's not here.
Oh shit, is he gone? I'm not looking at the.
Maybe he's
Uh,
just
all the other
cast
screens.
invisibility.
I just saw
Maybe
him.
he
I just-
did.
Oh yeah, they're it's chatting out in the room. There, you can see
Oh,
him standing there
I see him.
talking. Oh, that's funny.
It's the real life. So yeah, I'd like to.
You better, we
know, like,
see you.
like, do you want like some money for the hat or?
Probably because I'm
You didn't
broke.
give
I
me
have
any
like
fucking money for that cloak.
You guys
I-
could just be
but
friendly to your adventuring party.
I'm
share.
just
Like,
kidding.
No, I'm saying. Look,
I
this
feel
is-
like I've
I
been
mean,
There he
pretty
is.
at this
generous.
point,
I don't.
I've kind of made it
Yeah,
known
but-
that I'm willing to get rid of this hat of disguise that will allow you to change your own shape. So
Yes.
the
I've
way
actually
I
given.
see it
Okay, but
is
surely. Like,
whoever wants it
Just-
should roll. Like you guys
Okay, so
should
just
do like
dibs.
a game of crap or like yeah. If you want dibs or if anybody else wants it, you guys should do like a little dice game in game and winner gets the hat.
I'm okay.
do I have proficiency with that?
But if you go unopposed, then yeah, go ahead and take the hat.
Well, while they're talking
Oh, it's
about
a
it,
dice game. That's fun.
I'm gonna use
Yeah.
sleight of
Can I roll
hand
need?
and just snatch it out of her bag.
Oh, okay. So then, Jerk, roll me sleight of hand. Sparkle Gem, roll me perception.
Jesus, he's,
happening?
he's stealing it from me. He's straight up stealing this shit.
He's trying.
21.
Well, you guys are talking. Girls 21.
You got a
Sparkle
what?
Gem.
21.
Unless
You
this
got
is
a
a
10 plus
unless
11.
this is a 19 or
how
a
is your-
20, I auto
You have a
fail.
plus 11 to sleight of hand.
I do indeed.
That's his magic
Yeah.
item.
My
I
eyeballs, like I'm sneezing really hard as he jerks it off of my backpack.
I give you my inspiration.
It's his magical item.
You give me your inspiration to see if.
Yes, I can do it because you're doing a very Sparkle Gem thing.
Yeah, nope, still sneezing.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
so
expend that.
wait, so what happens is as you guys are kind of like, hey, like, I think maybe you could use this hat. I don't think I can I can manage this many items all at the same time. And it's still in her bag. Jerk walks up and takes it out of her bag which goes unnoticed until you guys reach a conclusion of what you would agree to the exchange, and Sparkle Gem goes to reach for the hat, which either was, I don't know if it was on her head because she was attuned to it and ready with it. She goes to reach for the hat and notices that it's gone.
Can we say that Taliesin is as he's like super fucked up, like notices this and just loses his shit but doesn't say anything?
Roll me perception.
You have to beat a 21 on perception in order to notice
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
of
but
this.
His sleight of hand
Yeah,
is
but it's his casting mod, so
Perception. Yeah. So that's
Oh.
that's a 21.
So you would
well,
notice it because it's meet or beat.
so
your
it's
perception's plus 5,
it's
Yeah.
a contesting roll.
and you rolled a 14.
Oh, it's a 19.
So it's a 19. Like, it's still crazy high, but like the magical item does give him a serious advantage on this. So,
So,
in your
we're
drugged out state, you don't seem to
Like
know
Office
this thing
of
happen.
Thievery.
But Sparkle Gem you go to reach for the hat on your head and it's gone. Where did your hat go?
Well, I am going to assume it's jerk because that's a very jerk ass thing to do.
So I have it on my head, and I walk over to Godwald, and I take it off, and I just hand it to him.
No reaction.
Just kind of like staring at you blankly, like, why would you do that, you ass?
So you just gotta like walk past him and toss the hat at him and just
Let's
keep
see,
walking
Well,
over
if-
into a
roll.
corner
If-
with rubble and skeleton
if-
bodies, like
if-
nothing was going on here.
Yeah, if he doesn't react, I just like set it at his feet, and then I go talk to Pubert. I wanted to ask Pubert if he has use for these Mudwalker boots. They're an armor class 11, and you get 3 charges of Mudslide a day.
Okay, I'm taking the hat off my inventory quick to make sure you add it to yours, Oz.
As a bonus action.
Yeah, as a bonus action, lets you slide 20 feet in one direction. The area which you move is coated in a thick, slippery mud, as if affected by the grease spell. This effect lasts for 1 minute.
You sure you want to get rid of those? Because I'll take them if not.
Yeah,
Or if you're-
the boots, after you use them, leave muddy footprints for an hour, which
Oh.
is the exact opposite of what I need.
All right, yeah, I'll put those on.
Alright.
All right, there should be a fit for them in the. There should be a. I've already made a custom item for it, so Chris, you just remove it from yours. Don't zero it out. Just actually remove it.
Mhm.
And then Pubert, if you searched, what was it called, Chris?
Mudwalkers.
One word.
Mudwalkers. One word, no space.
Let's
I
see. Equipment.
like so I look at it's like I stop looking at Jerk's weird eye. I look at Taliesin. It's like, is this what I look like when I'm in the owl? Is this what happens?
Talison's like,
Please,
I
tell me.
can't go. I can't go.
Don't yeah.
Oh
Like,
my
Yep.
god.
I asked Sparkle if this is what I look like when I'm in the owl because I honestly don't know. I've never seen myself while I'm in the owl.
You are the owl man. He's just gonna turn out, like roll over.
as he like rolls over, Sparkle Gem's just having that glowing skull going nee, right next to Talison's face.
He might fight you. Like, don't.
I make sure Taliesin is on his side so he doesn't like vomit into himself.
I didn't drink. I'm just tripping balls right now.
I have no idea what's actually happening to you right now.
and he made his
Actually,
Constitution saving
I
throw.
have no
but it
idea
just-
what you eat. I just know this is not how you slept for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he is currently on a spiritual journey. It is happening right now.
I can-
we're all just fucking with him while he's on it.
I can handle it physically. I just like I
Whoa.
don't fuck with me though.
Just repeat repeat after me. Whoa.
Just look at the girl that I posted.
I
That's what I'm doing right now.
I assumed it was more like
Watching
the
you
one
all
I
doing that.
responded with, where
You,
your face is literally just melting off, like, ugh.
I would say
The
if I
void.
failed the Constitution throw, then yes, that
Fair.
would be what it was like. But I passed, so it's like this girl at this concert.
Just
oh yeah, I did bring the I
I'll be right back.
I mean, you need the full 6 hours, so I can't exactly
Right.
just pull you out of this.
actually no joke
No,
though.
I mean,
can
I
I
can-
spend some of this time
Like I could do
mounting
it.
this glowing skull to my new magic staff?
I would say that if I pass the Constitution save, I could probably go to sleep.
Yeah, you're able to get into sleep, but you are
Well,
in your dreams having this.
I'm just having weird ass
as
Beautiful.
dreams.
a
Yeah,
half
yeah,
elf,
that's weird
don't you
ass
go
dreams.
into a transcendent state when you rest anyway? So it makes sense that you're on a psychedelic journey while you're resting.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
it's-
like
but
what
it's
I
less
do every day,
controlled.
man. I'm gonna grab another beer real quick. Well, hold on.
Oh man, because I am writing out these crazy dreams. So I'm ready when you get back.
Is there a table for that? There is no table for that.
No,
Here's-
this is just me writing shit.
I just want to stick the skull on my new magic staff, so anytime like
Let's see,
I
this
use
table
the
is
staff, it just
bad,
starts
so yeah.
cackling.
You do you, man. You do you. Something made from scratch would be better than what I would think of, which would
I'll
be
be
like
right
a
back.
table
I'm
of
gonna go
planes,
use
a
the
table of
restroom and
divinations.
smoke a cigarette while we're all doing a short intermission.
Sure. So
Okay,
you find them.
yeah,
you
we
find the
can do that.
mudwalkers.
Yeah, did Bear get that on his inventory?
Yep, it's on there.
Awesome. It's pretty cool. I feel like it's paladin
Glad you needed
helpful.
some combat.
It's crowd control, and
It's
it's
a-
good.
It's crowd control, and it's a bonus 20 feet of movement too. That's the way I look at it.
Did you find those? Did you find the mudwalkers?
Yeah, he
I
just
did.
said he got it.
Okay, cool.
Yep, they're on there.
All right,
Okay.
I've got Talison's crazy dreams ready for when he comes back. I'm gonna grab myself a whiskey real quick.
I equip the hat of disguise. I attune
Why?
through a short rest with the hat of disguise.
What are you gonna do with the hat of disguise?
Well, this guy.
So I 3D printed a new gun, you guys. It's
Did
the
you say that on the stream?
Bad Juju.
Did you say that on the stream?
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
It's got
the
a
government's not
slide.
gonna do anything about it.
triggers. It pulls.
So is that based on something you have in Destiny 2?
Yes. I actually don't like the gun that much, but I was really, really excited about it because in Destiny 1, I never got to use it, and then they've brought it back for Destiny 2.
Can you not still get it in Destiny 1?
Yeah, I could. I just,
If he goes back to play Destiny.
yeah, I
1.
don't really have anybody to
Oh,
play
yeah.
Destiny 1 with. But yeah, I put springs in the trigger so it works, and then it's got a slide so I can pretend to cock it, and then a magazine.
I heard it's Taliesin. It's Taliesin. You ready for this? You ready for your
Yeah, let's hear this dream.
Yes.
your spiritual journey?
Hell yeah.
All right, so as you kind of like mumble this to yourself, like I can't go, and you kind of fall back onto the stone slab, and your eyes sort of like roll back, and you just start, snoring to everyone else. But from your mind's point of view, as your eyes close, the black darkness then turns to a night sky filled with stars, and you feel yourself in a position well above the land as you're looking up at the stars and then tilt to look down. You're looking down over what seems to be a vast forest, and your consciousness seems to move down, 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 down into the forest. And as you're moving into the forest, it seems to turn into a swamp. And the forest that was once all wood and land, like an area that you're actually used to in this portion of the Sword Coast, turns to this swamp filled with water, like rotting logs and things falling over. As you come down into it, you start moving through it, hearing the sounds of like crickets chirping and frogs giving off the little like sounds as they move through, and your body just seems to keep weaving in and out of the trees, through the vines and things that are hanging down, that you're just kind of passing through it all as if it wouldn't impede you in any way. And as you come up to an opening in the swamp, out of the swamp appears a figure. This figure is like wearing a large brimmed hat that seems to have a stalk kind of coming off of it, as if it looked like the top of a giant acorn seed, like that is wearing its hat. It's wearing a cape made of leaves. Its body seems to be made entirely out of the stone of emerald. And as the emerald like shimmers and glows, as this figure kind of comes up out of the swamp water, staring at you with its gigantic eyes, and you realize that the figure is a frogkin, a kind of humanoid frog creature with its huge eyes staring at you, and its body seeming to be made of emerald stone. It looks to you, and it speaks in a frog's voice, but you understand what the frog speaks. And he says, "The balance of good and evil in the land is on the brink of falling into chaos. The green beast must be removed, and those who support him must be stopped." And as the creature then bursts into a series of small green lizards, winged creatures, they fly off into the forest, and you wake up 6 hours later in the room with everyone else, feeling really fucking weird.
He's gonna sit up, sweating, and just be like, "Yeah, I think we gotta kill Droop."
Oh, oh no, not Drew.
You, what you would have noticed about the tiny green creatures that it had flown into, the kind of thing that like sticks out of your memory, is that they were like 1,000 tiny little dragons flittering off from the body of once created this frogkin creature.
Is that a clue?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
I
that's a clue.
roll Can I roll insight to see if I would?
I heard, can I roll insight, and then it cut off.
Can I roll insight to see if I can understand more about the little green creatures that flew off?
Yeah, sure.
That's a +5.
So it's a 22.
All right, yeah. So you realize that this was not just a dream. It feels like a prophetic vision that someone was trying to communicate to you. And when this person mentioned the green beast to be removed and those who support him must be stopped, he is referring to the dragon, that the dragons that spewed from his body.
Ah,
It's-
yes.
It's
Not-
not
not-
Droop.
We can leave Droop alone for now.
Also, Droop is no longer green.
Well, was green.
Yes, that was
I'm-
valid, and now we're okay.
Is Godwald
Yeah, but
talking
no.
to Taliesin right now?
This is
Are
me
you?
commenting on this.
I'm asking because he's gonna be like, look, man, I just went through some heavy shit.
I am.
Just
Look, I
I'm
talked during
figuring
that
it
scene,
out.
Okay.
I'm figuring
You're like
it out right now.
sweating, just like kind of wiping your brow off, like, oh man, like that was the worst sleep that I've had in a long time. Like,
What happened?
Uh,
he does get all the benefits of his long rest.
Yeah, pass
You're
that
saying what
con
happened?
save. I will explain to them. So, I was in a swamp and met a giant green frog. It
Mhm.
was like an emerald frog, like
Yeah.
emerald in that it was made of emerald, not the color, not just color.
His body seemed to be made of the stone emerald.
Shiny.
From my understanding, our biggest threat, other than being in this cave, is the fact that this dragon is being protected by people. I think there's some politics at work that we need to figure out. We need to stop this dragon cult that we met. Remember the guy in the ogre cave when we killed those orcs?
Oh yeah, that guy was no nonsense.
Yeah, well, so it's been a couple years. I mean, maybe it was a couple minutes to us, but they've gained some power, according to my Emerald Frog friend, and we need to put a stop to that. And it goes a lot deeper than just fighting them. There's some people in power who are trying to further its agenda.
Hmm.
As a wise frog, can I have one of those for later?
I'm sorry, what?
I
And
said,
that,
that's a wise frog. Can I have one of those for later? Whatever the fuck
what?
you took.
He's the only person who noticed you take something.
I mean, uh, g-
When we're safe. When we're safe.
I don't know if. I mean, I'm a druid, so it worked this way for me. I don't know how it'll work for you.
Motherfucker, I'm a demon.
So?
What are you talking
I'm half demon spawn. Give me your drugs.
about?
I had a prophetic dream. Although, what I would like to do, Sparkle Gem.
Wait, was Sparkle Gem not here for it? You want to tell her the
No.
prophetic dream?
So, I had a dream where I was in a swamp and I was visited by a giant emerald frog who said the green. What was it? The green one has to die, or the
The balance of good and evil in the land is
Evil-
on the brink of falling into chaos. The green beast must be removed, and those
Yeah.
who support him must be stopped.
Yes. So, from my understanding, is it after that was said, it turned into a bunch of tiny green dragons and flew off. So, from my understanding, is this dragon from the dragon cult. We need to take care of that dragon, but it goes a lot further, and goes a lot deeper than just killing this dragon. There are people in power who are protecting it.
Okay. I
Uh,
mean,
I've gotten in. I've got someone in the cult that I'm planning on finding and rendezvousing with to get some more information about this.
I would say
Mhm.
with that, there's also the other interpretation, green beast. Oh wait, never mind. He's a bugbear now, so he's no longer green.
That was
Yeah,
my
no.
thought.
Because my
Yeah.
other thought was
Same
maybe it's
thing.
referring to the fact that
Tell
we
her, tell her.
did
I know, right?
That was my first thought. But he's no longer green.
And the frog
And
turned
also
into
it turned into a
dragons.
bunch of tiny dragons.
Wait, so when you said emerald frog, something jogged in my memory. I don't have the notes.
He
for
has a
this. It's something-
statue of an emerald
I
frog.
used to have a statue of a jade frog, but I sold it.
Okay, that would do it. Yeah. Okay, that resolves that. So,
Although I don't know how, and I understand, Jerk, your want for this, but I don't know how it will affect you.
Neither do I. That's why I want to try it out later when we're
although-
safe.
I would like to do something, and Taliesin calls Jerk and Sparkle Gem over.
That's not the one I sent, but okay.
I would. So while we're out of combat and we're just kind of doing whatever, I would like to take Sparkle Gem's quiver, take all of the bolts out of it. You have an arrow. You have a
Crossbow.
bow or a crossbow. You have a crossbow.
I actually have both. But
Okay. Well, I would like to take.
Wait, you have both?
I'm pretty sure I do. Let me double check.
She's a short bow for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you
I
usually
have
use the
a
short
light
bow.
crossbow and a short bow.
You usually use the short bow, right?
No, actually, I use the crossbow more often than not because it has a higher hit die.
Okay. Well, I'll take all the bolts out of your quiver for the crossbow. I'm gonna shove a soul walk down in the bottom and then stab all the bolts back into it.
Oh, so now I got poison trippy bolts.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this will work in our favor. Is that okay?
If you want to try and do it, like you could probably use you have a medicine kit or a healer's kit or herbalist.
I'd say
You're
Jerk is the one with
herbalist.
the poison kit, so he'd be the one that would know best on how to break it down into an essence in order to poison.
I have an
bolt.
I have an herbalism kit.
You have an herbalism kit. So with the herbalism kit, roll me a d20. And I'll see if you could like try to like put it down to something that might
oh, that's explains.
be a poison. Well, let's do it. It's cool.
I don't know if I get a plus to that.
Let's see.
Would that
Well,
be a
you're
plus
proficient.
plus my medicine?
You're pro some medicine, yeah.
So
see,
9,
10.
12.
Okay, I would say you could like the way the drug is intended to be used is to be like eaten and ingested in its full form. If you wanted to try and like use your herbalism kit to distill it down to a kind of poison for something, you could use 5 of the soul locks to do that. So you have to mark off
Okay.
5 of them, and then she could. I don't even know exactly how Sparkle Gem. If you put 5 soul lock, because soul lock's a custom item, so you should be able to like add it into your thing, I think. Did I just add a custom item on it?
So I mean I would think that if she shot something living with this, it would fuck them up.
How do you spell soul walk?
Potentially.
SOL?
SOULWALK. Soul
Not in
walk.
not in a damage perspective, but like
It's not showing up for me.
make them feel
that means I
good.
did it. I'll do it.
Disorient them.
Do me a favor, just DM me the
5
note
trippy bolts.
and DM me the note to make you trippy bolts, and I'll add it to your inventory in the next session. But you have essentially, I'll trade 5 of the drug to be distilled down to 2 shots of like 2 bolts that carry this, and then they'll probably have to make like a Constitution saving throw if they get hit with it. See whether or not
Can I shoot
it
Jerk
affects
to
them.
see if they work?
And you do know that it
You have
usually
2.
takes 30 minutes to take effect, so that's
Well.
like one thing. But you can distill it down to 2 vials of this. So she can take 2 vials of it and pour it on arrows, or she can take 2 vials of it and maybe pour them into somebody's drink or something in the future. But you are able to like take 5 charges of it and distill it down to 2 poison applications.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, that fits.
If I distilled it down, would it still take 30 minutes?
It would be more potent that way.
Yeah, it would be more potent, and I would assume, depending on how it would enter the body, would determine how quickly it takes effect.
I mean,
Like
if you
liquid.
shot somebody with an arrow laced with it, it would
It would be
enter the bloodstream
directly
immediately.
into their bloodstream.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
I'm doing it that way so that when you do this, it makes it makes a Constitution saving throw on hit to see if
Okay.
that impacts them in that moment or not, and it
Man,
might give them a disadvantage on things.
if you're
it
tripping
does
balls,
take
yeah.
effect.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry to throw you through a loop, but I mean, you set me up with some good ideas, man. I'm taking advantage
Alright.
of them.
Hey, we
mean,
walked through a whole crazy dream sequence. I didn't have that planned. I hope that worked out well. Hope you enjoyed that.
That was cool as fuck.
I tell him that's a brilliant idea, and I pull out the peculiar puking potion. I say, I totally
I
forgot
bet
I
you
had
used all
this.
that.
And I've got 2 charges
yeah.
left.
Oh
Oh,
damn.
dude, we should soak your arrows in those, so
Oh, no,
that way you can make people puke.
I'm putting it on my my rapier. Next fight before we do anything, I'm gonna
Next encounter.
douse it with a dose.
Well,
I've kind of been saving it for a boss.
we are over our rest. Oh yeah, did you attune to the staff?
Yeah, it
Sparkle Gem has taken a short rest and added Staff of Defense to the attuned items.
It has been at least a Taliesin long rest, so 6 hours of him tripping, meditating. while
Getting
he was
fucked with.
there. Did everyone else do a short rest?
Yep.
And if you did a short rest, you can roll your
Yeah.
hit die if you had any lost. I remember Godwald said he wanted to do that. Did you roll that yet?
I think it did it before me when I just told it how many I wanted to roll during the rest. Does that
I just
work?
wanted to make sure that
So is that the
Sparkle Gem got the +1 to AC for
I
having.
do. My AC is now a 13, so there's only a 35% chance on pure hit die things can hit me.
That's only one less than mine.
so
Yeah.
if you attune
No, I'm not
if you
like it
attune
helps a
to
lot.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
just a
trying to
table.
discredit you.
if you took off your leather armor and you're just wearing your clothes or naked, I think I heard naked earlier, and you use the staff of defense, you can cast mage armor with 1 charge that lasts 8 hours, and it makes your AC become
Right.
like much higher than what yours was. What's the mage armor?
Mage armor, the AC becomes 13 plus its dex mod, so it would
Yeah.
become a 14. Or just by having the staff attuned to me, I automatically get a +1 defense
I have
with armor on. So it's better for me just to keep my armor and be attuned to it to get my 13 AC.
it worked that way.
Well,
Okay,
here's the reason I gave it to you. Go ahead.
Okay, so the way mage armor works, mage armor resets your base AC. So if you
Correct.
cast mage armor, your base AC becomes what was it?
13.
13. The +1 while holding the staff adds on to that, so it becomes 14.
Plus my dex, so it would become a 15 if I decide
Right.
to run around naked
Or without armor, but yes.
or in my
You can
costume.
wear clothes or bra and panties. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
that's standard CJ wear.
Set
But,
of common
I
clothes
mean,
in my
that's
inventory.
standard CJ wear is like underwear. That's it.
But is it standard Sparkle Gem wear? That's the real
That's
question.
the question
And
there.
a barrel.
Is
Yeah.
sparkle
And
and bail.
and to be clear,
And a bag.
I have researched this mage armor and shield business because I play a wizard in my other game a lot on the Friday nights. Mage armor resets your your base. The bonuses still stack on top of that. So as a reaction, you could cast shield. So like mark off 1 charge for mage armor that boosts you up to 14 AC, 15, right?
Yeah, but how long does that last? Is the question.
8 hours. And
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, 8 hours, which is really nice. So basically, you kind of have to remember that because it's not going to show up on your sheet, and you're going to have to tell me that, like, no, my AC is 15. When you cast shield, it's a bonus on top of that. So as you
So
as a
you could have a
reaction.
20 AC.
Yeah, so I could
20
become
AC.
the tankiest character next to Hubert.
I mean, it uses up your reaction, and it only lasts until the start of your next turn. But shield is a really great spell. Also, if you use all the charges on this staff, you're gonna have to roll a d20 and find out if the staff just explodes or not.
Right, and then just like with my Pipes of Haunting, every day at dawn, it recharges 1d6 plus 4.
I clicked on armor class on my character sheet. There's an option to override base armor plus dex to 15
Oh, okay. Well, so you could do that while mage armor is in effect. but
and
I've
give it
read-
a parentheses mage armor.
Yeah. So, like in this instance, 6 hours just passed in order for a Taliesin to have his long rest. So if you do it at the beginning of it, we're good to go out. But then you guys doing it at the long rest, that's off. That's a charge used. You got to do it again. So you do have to still manage the charges on your staff.
Right. I mean, for now, I'm just going to keep my armor and the staff. Like I said, that's just for the time being. Because let's face it, I don't have anywhere to store my armor while we're traveling through here.
Mage
Well,
armor is
It's
just an action.
easier to
So
keep
too,
it
if you
on.
I also gave it to you because what? Your armor is now what? 13?
Well, it's 13 now. It was a 12.
Yeah, but as a so if you get into the
Right.
thick of battle,
Right,
you can
I get what
cast
you're saying.
shield,
Yeah.
and that jumps up to 18.
Right, exactly. So there's an even less chance of me actually being hit.
One caveat with that though is if I roll to attack, you have
I
to
have
say
to call it before we determine
before
if
I
it hits or
announce
not.
whether it does it. Yeah, so just keep that in mind because if I'm like, all right, this is it, and it hits, you have to be like, I know, because I can't tell you what the score was or something until after you use it, because it
Right.
lasts until the end of your next turn. So like you use it, and then like 5 more arrows come flying your way. Well, your AC is still that high, so like yeah,
Right.
maybe the one hits you, but you did use the spell, and so it's up now.
Wait, sorry, could you say that again?
He
Shield is
basically
cool.
said shield
Yeah.
allows it. So as a reaction, I could cast shield.
Yeah.
Until the start of my next turn, my AC is what it would be with the shield mod.
Plus
But
5.
did you
Does
say
that make a bit more sense?
Did you say you have to take the reaction before you hear the result?
Yes.
Yes.
So if let's
Because-
say hypothetically something decides to attack me
Yeah.
and I feel like it beat my AC, I go, no, I'm using shield. Does it still come in contact?
Yeah, I can't be like,
Hmm.
and that's a 21 to hit, and then you'd be like, oh no, wait, I'll use shield because I know that I can boost it up to 22.
I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
can't do
you've
that.
Doesn't
always
quite
let
work
me
that way.
do that though.
He probably has, but he
Uh,
wasn't technically supposed to, so we could always take the corrective action from here on out.
No,
Mm,
I was
All right,
just real
I
generous
can
and
see
I'm
this
gonna
going
roll
on
back
for a
to
while,
it.
so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the
Let's not do
stream.
that.
Everybody say goodnight.
Bye,
Oh.
drink water.
Good
Right.
night.
I'm gonna